Kidoki artichoke. I'm whatever. Don't care. Sure. Let's go with that. Sure. I don't care. Yeah. Let's see here. Have to wake up the lion day. What is this Spanish crap? I'm supposed to be able to understand this? Okay. I mean, that would be the most useful, wouldn't it? That would be even more awesome, like live men on the ground. Yeah, yeah. What's up? We're live, by the way. So don't.
I was watching. What are you talking about? Can you hear me better now? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, in the YouTube chat, they would.
Well,
tell you that.
I listened to. I was watching the YouTube video. I could hear Nick, but like I didn't.
That's hilarious.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you were talking though, and like I was listening.
Girl
Yeah.
Jones
It has. There
says
we
he
go.
can hear you.
He says he can. Fuck. Well, does it sound good now, or is it like double? Are you hearing double?
Let me watch the.
This is
Watch the video.
professional stuff.
Yeah, this.
I literally always do this for streams. I just do not prepare it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think I hear you on the video. Let me mute this.
Not hearing double. Girl Jones is our.
Grill Jones is our tech guy.
Okay, yeah. It works. It works for me at least on the video.
An impoverished man interrupted diners, implored for help to cobble together 2,000 pesos, or $2, for adult diapers for his autistic son standing next to him. It quickly became apparent. Yeah, this happened to me. Actually, this is our man in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, I know. Like that sounds like some joke like we would make up or something.
It sounds like an Andriago thing.
Yeah.
Election. Okay. There are streams about this, like election streams, but they're all in some dumb language. I don't know what it is.
In this very stupid language.
La bandera de Argentina tiene los colores
Bandera?
azul y blanco y amarillo.
Ooh, I know those words.
So yeah, white. Oh wait, is it red or blue, white, and yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Should have paid attention. I'm screwed here on a stream, humiliated in front of like 10
in front
people.
of
or
12
whatever.
people. Ooh, okay, I do have another Hispanophone friend. He says, I can interpret live for you guys. Very based.
Do we know the count yet?
No, we don't. People, like, okay, Malay's headquarters, apparently they were like, they saw like some exit poll that gave them 36%, which would be a very positive result. But that's just like, that's like Hillary Clinton planning like fireworks. Like it could go like the exact opposite. I am pretty confident that Malay will make it to the next round. So we got that going for us.
He's the man to beat.
He's the man to beat, and he can't be beat. None of the second round polls have him losing in a head-to-head. So that's pretty good. Against anyone. It would be very cool if he like just headed off the first round, because here's the problem, okay? So the presidential system is 2 rounds, right? But the legislative elections are happening tonight, and there's not like a runoff thing. So if Malay gets like 30% of the vote, he could still win the presidency, but he would have only kind of like a small legislative core, which would not be good. Or maybe not ideal, because I hear that the president has a lot of power in Argentina. And he can make a lot of changes. But
Even if the legislature is like cock blocking him.
yeah. Yeah, it's very annoying. Only half of the seats are up anyway. So even if he swept, he wouldn't get a majority because his party is so new.
And can you guys? Okay, yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to just verify. I searched weird facts about this fellow Malay.
He has a lot of weird facts. He's very eccentric.
So, but then a lot of times these facts are going to be, I don't know how true they are. So I'm trying to do some fact checking. The one I'm working on right now is Malay has expressed support for the sale of organs and children.
Respect.
Okay. Let's see if that's true.
Adrian, when I looked into this, I didn't look super hard, but it just said it'd be a few hours after the poll is closed that results will start coming in. Do you know a more specific time than that, or is it just
I don't think anyone knows anything more specific.
Okay, yeah, so it's just disorganized. Yeah, a few hours
It's
after.
a third world country,
Yeah, although America is literally also basically a third world country in this sense.
Well,
Yeah.
the blue states are California.
True. And well, I mean, I almost said Argentina, but I meant Arizona.
Have you guys ever tried to follow an Indian election? It takes fucking 3 weeks.
It makes me insane. The only thing that's close to that in the Western world is Australia.
What? Why? It doesn't even make
Because
sense.
they have a very autistic way of counting. Because they they numbered preferences. Ireland is actually very similar.
Oh, okay, because there's some sort of preference thing. They go back to the same ballot.
They have to
similar
add
time.
up everyone's and then there's leftovers, and then you give it to blah blah blah. It takes weeks, if not months.
Not
Yeah,
here.
the Indian one is very bad.
Well, okay, so he definitely is pro legalizing sale of human organs. I don't exactly know what.
He actually backtracked on it and pretended like he didn't, which was, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I believe that he.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. It's very funny the social stigma against that, given that we literally have that system. Like we literally sell human organs. It's just like it's all like it's under like another name basically, right? Because you pay fees.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. If you needed
my mother donated an organ, but it was like a quid pro quo thing because my sister needs a kidney transplant at some point in the future. So it is kind of like you give an organ, you get an organ. But a lot of people don't have that thing. And
I'll give you 2 livers for 1 kidney. No, it's too hard of a bargain.
Zurdo de mierda, no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
¿Puedes definir zurdo de mierda que no?
Todo
What is the only thing I know of Argentinian elections, Adrian?
Who is this?
Who is
A
what?
man
Oh,
with a
here he
rude
is.
name. A man with a rude name.
It's Shaved Dog's ass.
lo que, digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea. A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda?
This is all I know about Argentina right now.
He's
Is the
hijo de
meme.
mierda.
Yeah, it's a funny hair man. Funny ANCAP hair man.
He's so based.
So so he definitely favored selling organs. And probably still does. Now, why do people say he wants to sell children as well? Let's find that one.
I have to assume that's just because like I like Rothbard and someone like Googled Rothbard and was like, oh my god.
I feel like I remember like he actually sort of like defended a little bit something like that. Like he defended something Rothbard said. I don't know like how far he went, but
Well, usually you just defend the idea that in the future there might be a prolific market for children to work, not necessarily equate that with like hardcore child labor, but more like they can like hand out erasers at school or like do some very minor things to help benefit themselves on the way up into their more active action economy.
yeah, I think he like defended like a little bit more than that, but I guess we'd have to find the quote.
It's very based that child labor is literally coming back in America.
I mean, like, it is...
Sam Peter was flipping out over it.
I mean, it's like a child who goes to Target on Thursday before all the kids go and buy their candy on Friday and sells them at school for 200% markup. Is that like child labor or...
It is.
Literally-
And child labor is good.
Literally, like all my uncles and aunts like worked at like restaurants when they were like 13 years old or 15 years old. Like it was like insane. Like what people like they're always like.
Well, you can do that legally. You can absolutely, but they.
Well, you have
can.
to file paperwork for it. My sister worked when she was like a professional actress when she was like 12 or whatever. So she had to like sign like.
It's very dependent on where you are. So like here in Texas, if you're like a 12, 13-year-old working for your family farm, you get agricultural code passes. You don't have to file for shit. You just get to work and make money.
Okay, but like nobody like fucking like is on the farm. Like that's like 1% of the population.
That was me. I was going on the farm.
Okay, but like that's not.
I am several 1% of the population, my friend.
Okay.
So apparently, yeah, he said we can maybe sell children in 200 years. That's what he did say that.
So based. I love like that's like it's almost more insane than saying like we should do it now.
Yeah.
And for the record, I do support selling children.
I mean, isn't that kind of like a dystopian acceptance though? Isn't that like something really explored in like Brave New World in 1984? This concept of like loose ownership of these gestational beings and like being able to trade them.
Brave New World, it's full state ownership of like breeders or whatever, and state like, regulation, which is obviously not what like Rothbard supports, right?
Wait, really? Rothbard wasn't pro Brave New World? What are you talking about?
He wasn't a Fordist.
Damn, that's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, again, just like with organs, we kind of have this already, right? It's just way less efficient and way more like stuffed up with bureaucracy. People do sell their children, basically. I mean, the problem is you don't even get money for giving up your child now, right?
Often you have to pay to get rid of them.
Exactly, which is a bad incentive if like your concern is, there's some parents who genuinely are not fit parents, right? And like, there's no incentive for them to give up their children.
Well, there's also not a lot of incentive for the individual inheriting the child to treat it with the same amount of rights or respect that their parents would.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, children are in a very
Quasi property state.
yeah, a sticky wicket. This is very based. Maybe there's a bit of a delay for the stream, but there's like this new update in Bloomberg, and they're kind of being fair to Malay because literally,
Malay?
like, yeah.
Oh, the
the
mean
epic
guy?
hair guy.
Yeah, okay. When you say melee, I thought you might mean Malaysia.
Mile.
Melee.
He apparently loves Judaism.
Yeah, he loves Israel. He loves Judaism.
I mean,
studies Kabbalah.
Being a fan of Ayn Rand, you can't not like appreciate the miserly, what are they called? Stereotypes that are presented by the Jewish people.
All right, let's calm down here. But okay, so like literally all these outlets were like, "This is the new Trump," or "It's Argentina's Trump." But Bloomberg is like, this like latest thing. Milei is a genuine outsider. He's come from nowhere with no party to attach himself to. Trump was a rich businessman who showed a shaky understanding of economics. Milei is a bona fide economist, more of a theorist, who now get to shut by his radical ideas and practice. Milei's undiluted libertarianism has little in common with Trump's art of the deal approach. Respect.
Oh, did you see my little... Oh, never mind, go ahead.
He said that observing Sabbath may be an obstacle to converting, like he's considering converting to Judaism or something.
I also assume he means by abstaining, like not having sex, because he's kind of a
Sex
philanderer. Yeah, he's kind of a dog.
Okay.
He's very, it's funny that our friend.
He studies with the rabbis. He loves Judaism and like Talmudic interpretation or whatever the fuck. Okay. Weird.
I'm a Talmudic.
What else we got? What else dirt can I dig up on this guy?
He's a tantric sex artist or something like that.
Oh, right. Let's look up the basis of that one.
He is, like, I would say, conventionally attractive. Wouldn't you guys say?
Yep.
Probably, but I don't know how women like the sideburns these days.
Are we talking about Javier here?
We're talking about Javier.
Okay. Well, Javier is like, for a 53-year-old, I think he's above average. Yeah.
I don't know what he looked like when he was younger. We can look it up.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think he looks good for a 53-year-old. He
whether
looks
or not
like
he's
young.
hot and sexy.
I mean, he's no George Clooney, right?
Let's calm down here, Aiden.
He's got those A10s though.
This is a great headline. Could this threesome-loving tantric sex coach and pro-Trump rock singer, who's advised by his dead dog, really be the next president of Argentina?
Oh yeah, I remember people bringing that up. Doesn't he believe his dogs are like the reincarnated spirits of Mises?
I don't know.
Hayek?
He named them after, but apparently.
Well. He said like. He said like his dead dog had like a God sent mission, like, or I can't remember. Like he
did say like something about talking to his dead dog.
Right. Oh, this is Javier. I'll post it in the chat just because there's like a delay. So this is him at the age of 14. So let's see, hot or not. Just kidding. I mean, he seems like. I mean, he's like an athlete. Like, he's a Chacarita youth.
I mean, he's like kind of like a nerd athlete, right? He's like a nerdy looking athlete.
I guess. I feel like it's the nose that's doing that. Maybe. I don't know. Nerd.
Well,
athlete.
I think just his
nerd
athlete
like,
just in general.
It just like explains all like footballers. in my opinion.
Yeah, but he's no like Cristiano Ronaldo, blah blah blah.
True, people say he's like attractive, right?
Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Obviously, like pretty much all like the big soccer stars are
All
attractive.
of them? What about Nagubu?
Well,
Got you there. Idiot. Ooh, my Spanish friend is gonna join. Hold on. Let me invite him. Yeah, what about bloody Nagubu?
Yeah, most people I've seen have been harping on the dead dog thing. Actually,
Well, it's not just that he also seems. I'm trying to find the quote where this all comes from, but he also says that he has telepathic conversations with living dogs as well. So it's living and dead dogs both that he can communicate with telepathically.
I love how he's saying dog, like not his dog, just random dogs.
Just in the street. It's overwhelming to be in the street with people who are walking their dogs. The noise, the telepathic noise.
I mean, I think we know one person that shares that sentiment.
yeah, huh?
just for very opposite reasons in a sense. I don't know.
We're still waiting for the first results to roll in. Preliminary numbers should be coming in.
So he's running. He's running for national deputy, right?
Who? Malay?
Yeah.
Bro, he's gonna become president.
Oh, okay.
I think there's an 80% chance.
But he was national deputy, right?
He is currently a national deputy.
Gotcha.
So hang in there, fix yourself a drink. We're likely gonna be in for a long night.
Bro, I'm just coming off of some cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. I can't have shit.
I don't know what that means.
Constant vomiting induced by frequent use of cannabis.
What the fuck?
Is that like when you hit the bong too much and you throw up?
No, this is like when you wake up one morning and you're so incredibly nauseous that you can't even keep water down.
Man, you always kind of you always have like crazy things that you happen to you.
Well, I told you, I'm a part of many 1%s.
Shave dog's ass.
That's it.
Okay, Spooky said is our man in
Spain.
in Madrid.
Yeah. I'm just listening because I don't pay that much attention to politics, to be honest, but I can translate stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
Our man.
Do I know any of you guys? Like, you speak like in the chat?
No.
Some of them are on Twitter, but you don't use it that much. So.
There's no substantial codified community around springtime yet, like in the chats and things.
Adrian, have you seen the movie Our Man in Havana?
No, what's it about?
Oh, it's Graham Greene. Well, it's like kind of a satire on like spy, like intelligence services, I mean, I can tell you like the basic premise if you want, or like
It's an old movie, isn't it?
yeah, it's pretty old. It's like by Graham. It's like an adaptation of like a Graham Greene novel.
Isn't it supposed to be a what is the term for those things? A Manchurian Candidate movie? Or is that that is the Manchurian Candidate?
No, it's not. No.
Never mind, I'm retarded.
I mean, it's like I guess very vaguely related in the sense that like it is.
I haven't even watched Manchurian Candidate.
About politics, about guys. You really explained this movie really well, David, I gotta say.
Well, okay, no. Well, I would like debate like I don't know.
Anything older than 15 years you can spoil. If it's spoiled, it's your fault. All right.
Okay, so you guys don't care about spoilers.
No, not in this instance.
I don't care.
Now that we've gotten that sorted out.
Roy.
Okay, so basically, like this guy is like conning the MI6, and like he's not really like a good like intelligence agent. He's like just giving them like bullshit. Like he's giving them like the insides of like a vacuum cleaner like turned upside down and claiming it's a secret weapon, like that sort of thing.
It's more like what is that gun? Not gun. That movie.
It's like a satire of like intelligence services and like the MI6 and shit. So like Our Man in Havana, it'd be
It sounds a lot
appropriate.
like Burn After Reading.
A little bit, I guess, in the sense that it's a satire about like intelligence services.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be? How is it staged? Is it like a comedy or is it just a satire?
I think it has like sort of comedic elements to it too, but
Like it doesn't look like The Naked Gun, does it?
No, it's not like The Naked Gun. No, it's like closer to a satire than like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, what are you watching for election results, Adrian?
We got this Bloomberg thing. There's also this like Spanish site. I follow it on Twitter, and they like, this is our center for the Argentinian election or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I can't.
I'm surprised he walked back
I think
his thing on organ selling because he said 2 statements about it, and he walked back both of them.
I think there was a very negative reaction.
He said the sale of human organs is merchandise, and he said, "My first property is my body. Why am I not going to be able to dispose of my body?"
Yeah, how do you make the argument for like allowing the selling of organs without getting around the moral hazard of people like just finding bodies to sell organs or killing people and selling them?
What do you mean? You say that about any good that we're like privatizing that wasn't privatized, right?
Sure, but are you expect like
like
yeah,
if we privatize bread, like yeah,
we have to think about the implementation, not the end result. So the current implementation is we have a overbearing, centralized, authoritative state. How do we get closer to organ selling? Not the end result. Oh, this is what our fantastic society 100 years in the future, where we can sell organs in children with no problem.
Well, it was his words saying like 100 years. I'm sure we could implement it pretty quickly.
But the only thing I see rivaling to prevent such an action in the current day would be the centralized, homogenous state preventing people from and investigating individuals who sell organs.
Right. I think a good transitional kind of thing. Not saying that this is like morally superior to just doing it, but like if we have to convince people, implementing more monetary incentives in the existing framework, I think would do a lot to alleviate. And you know, like I said, like my sister was my mom, like it was lucky that my mom had like a good organ to give, but like in
What, you don't have any organs? You're making your poor mother go through this? What's going on here?
What do you think I'm putting my organs
So
through?
my problem, Adrian, is that
sorry I didn't finish my just so I get like it all out, but like okay, like having more like the way that it works now is like a bread line, right? Where I think a middle thing would be like a little bit more like a pawn shop.
Well, there's more than just a bread line because there is a significant amount of triage that goes into deciding who gets these organs.
I mean,
right, we're not just going to give a 20-year-long smoker brand new lungs from a 13-year-old who died in a car
but
crash.
for all that, like my sister is a young woman. She has a lot of like life years, you know. I'm sure she is like further ahead for the kidney transplants than like an 80-year-old alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
But
there's
we're talking
even further
about
complications.
We're talking about thousands of people like in line for organs.
Well, yeah, because on top of that, you also
Many
actually
people
have to
die.
get the match. You have to get the appropriate match.
Of course.
And then not only that, the match has to be available to that individual. So not only does it have to match, but it has to be in a regional locale to where it can get to that person in time to be used.
Yeah.
So there's like, I don't know. My problem is that let's say the apparatus of the state erects their own barriers around this kind of idea of, yeah, you can sell organs, but we're going to investigate you and watch after you. You're going to see an infinitely more complex apparatus develop about how to conceal the sources of those organs. So, like, we've got 500 kidneys from Mexico. You want to ask where they're really from?
Well, we already have this problem. It's not like China has a free market in Oregon.
No. No, I know. I'm just saying, instead of thinking about the very, very end result, you got to think like, how do we take one step forward? I think you made a good step forward saying like finding some cases where we can get some monetary incentive out of this transfer, such as like your two kids died in a car accident and it's verifiably not a murder. It's obviously you didn't set this up. You can sell their organs. Maybe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you get a check, right?
Yeah.
And then once, I mean, this goes back to the old like economic calculation problem, right? The more prices are used, the more efficiently we're going to be able to use resources.
Yeah, and so then this maybe like brings down insurance prices and brings down healthcare prices in the long term by some marginal amount too.
Right, but more importantly, it would lessen the time that people have to wait for organs.
Maybe.
Well, that one seems...
I'm erring on the side of yes, but I can't say for sure because being good Austrians, we don't sit here and look back upon history saying, oh, well, what if we just, instead of harvesting this organ, harvest that organ? So I can't say for certain until the policy is implemented and we see results somewhere, right? And even those results are going to have to fit inside of whatever's going on. I don't want to see this policy implemented in Malaya and try and do the same in the United States just because the outcomes were marginally beneficial for Malaya.
Well, what would you think about the idea that, the Portuguese experiment in decriminalization of, all narcotics? Right.
Yeah, I'm still somewhat skeptical on it, but overall, from what I've seen, as well as compared with the two other countries that did it for and then all of the localized decriminalization programs, the evidence suggests that it as an alternative is far superior to the current prohibition. Not only that, but prohibition arguably outside of price controls, which it is kind of a price control if you think about it. Is one of the worst things you can do. One of. But
I mean, I suppose I can think of worse things to do than implement price controls, but
I mean a good bad thing, right? Something you say is good but has bad results. So price controls, implement them in a good intent, get bad results. Not like the worst thing you can do is the Holocaust, or the worst thing you can do is nuclear genocide, or In terms of economics. Yeah. Sorry. We're off topic now. How's our election going?
There's not really any news. Bloomberg's wasting... They're kind of filling the empty space. They're let's talk about the decline of the peso after the past 40 years.
How is Argentine's system of property rights? So I know Mexico and some other southern locales have really difficulty didacting who owns what, especially with the record keeping system.
I think that is not a problem in Argentina.
Argentina, yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, Mexico's has that problem because they're
fractured.
Their revolution in the early 20th century, I think, threw a lot of that into doubt. The Constitution of Mexico is not written in a way that guarantees property rights and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I just don't think that's the case for most Latin American countries.
I would figure after some of the more right-wing waves, Argentina kind of chomped down on making sure property rights were recognized and well formalized. I'm sure there's some issues. We even have issues here in the United States. But
true.
I've seen many a Louisiana neighbor get in a shootout over 2 inches of property line.
That reminds me of the Hunter S. Thompson shooting birdshot at his neighbor.
That was a joke, right?
It didn't happen, or they were fooling around?
It happened, but him and his neighbor were very good friends, and they set the whole thing up for the reporters. He wrote about it later. It's really funny.
That's extremely funny. But I love that. It's
just having a shootout with your neighbor.
Yeah, and he was that's America. It's your right. It's your right to pepper your neighbor's property was birdshot because
Birdshot,
you're
yeah.
angry at him.
It's like North Korea and South Korea firing into the water.
Based.
What is what are some of Mr. Meme Man's positions on like international diplomacy? You said he really likes the Talmud and the Zionists.
He said Argentina's great
greatest ally is Israel.
should be Israel. Yeah.
Very nice.
Here's what I said, and I actually, when I interviewed my Argentine ANCAP friend, I asked him about this, and I think he gave a very satisfactory answer, which is that when we're talking about great powers, their internal politics do matter on the global stage a lot more than say the idea that Argentina becoming more pro-Israel
Makes it worse for Hamas. No.
Well, I think it's a very marginal thing, right? Because it's not like Argentina is invading Kuwait or something and trying to impose things. Argentina doesn't.
Argentina is looking out there and saying, who is going to be our best economic, military, and political partners? And they look at Hamas and Gaza and the West Bank and they go, probably not these guys.
Right, but even in that sense, obviously Israel's not really gonna. Israel has actually fairly good relations with Colombia, but I would not say that relationship is integral to either of those countries.
No, but you could see how having a formal relationship with Israel would bring you closer ties to other formal relationships with the West, like the United States.
Yeah, no, not. Insofar as that's a strategy, I think it's very low priority.
Yeah, I don't think it's a strategy. I think he's just I don't think Argentinians really care that much about the Israel-Gaza, Palestine conflict.
There's a lot of history there, actually.
No, I didn't know.
There was a terrorist attack, I believe in the 90s, though I could be wrong about that, and the Peronist government actually suffered a lot of bad flack for basically, it seemed like they were very
sweeping it under the rug.
Security, let's see, Iran.
Did they sweep it under the rug too? It wasn't that bad, and
I think dozens of people died.
But who made the terrorist attack? Was it Hamas?
It was an Iranian-linked group.
Okay.
Apparently, 7% of Argentina is ethnically Arab.
Yeah.
Maybe some shit happened in the 90s, but I don't think today they're at all worried. They have no.
Maybe by self-identity. I don't think genetically they'd be 7%. But Adrian, when you said
hold on, David has something to say.
Okay, no, genetic versus self-identification. But anyway, Adrian, when you said there's actually a lot of history there. I thought you were going to mention Eichmann.
No, no, there's recent history.
Yeah, I glossed over that joke because I knew what he meant.
Eichmann was in Argentina, is that right?
I don't know. It could have been any number of general references to Nazis fleeing to Argentina. Right.
It was Argentina.
What is that one town that's literally full of Germans?
That's every town.
Though I think more interestingly, Millet had said that he wanted to cut relations with China, which would be actually
so that would be my question. What it seems like they're going the pro-West Israel sort of side rather than the sort of dissident Russia, China, BRICS, whatever.
Well, BRICS has shown itself to be pretty conflicted. They can't agree on anything, and anytime they do, it's very, very small. Hey, you can borrow some of our military equipment.
Okay, yeah, it was quote unquote Islamic Jihad organization, which is a Shia militia, sort of related to Hezbollah. It seems like there was Hezbollah.
Yeah, but was this attack equal to 15 9/11s?
Yeah, 30 people died, so it was pretty, and most of them were Argentinian.
So So how many Argentinians are worth American lives if you do the math? As that being 15-9. Anyway.
I don't even want to think how many 9/11s it was for the embassy if you control for population.
Also,
It's like
well,
9,000 9/11s.
I wanted to respond to El Hardo here in chat, who says Caliphate of all Argentina sway. It may have been in response to the Arab population comment, but just want to say the overwhelming majority of the Arabs in Argentina are Christian Arabs. So there's not gonna, there might be a
Like
Crusader state
Lebanese.
of Argentina.
That's why we need the Palestinian Christian right of return, baby.
They're never going to do that.
I mean, yeah.
If they recognize one right of return, they're going to have to recognize them all.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because in one country they didn't.
I'm actually, at this point, pretty pro one-state solution.
As in, like, you want Israel to absorb the Palestinians?
Nah, the United Nations needs to come in and shit down everybody's neck. Mandate of peace.
Also, Gunther failing a NATO mandate bill.
Look, I'm just trying to speed run the Samson option here, Shepard.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah.
Bismillah, mashallah.
I don't know. Did I feel out of character or off color commenting on Bricks in that manner, or is Bricks doing something more special that I should have any note about? Because it seems they're just kind of divesting into other countries that they get some benefit out of, but it's one-sided. Like building a giant port that won't benefit anybody but Chinese, ocean goers.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to discount this idea. Okay, so they invested a lot into Sri Lanka, right? I don't like the Belt and Road thing.
But didn't we break down how they're doing these investments? Like dollar per dollar, the money that BRICS and countries like China are putting into these smaller nations are not as beneficial dollar per dollar as the ones in the West. So like China will go to Sri Lanka.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying if they spend $4 billion doing that, I mean, it's got to have some increase, right?
Literally what they're doing is they're going to places like Sri Lanka and building these massive ports that they're pretty much only going to get exclusive use out of. And then they also like to, sit their spy ships in there and, tread upon any international boundaries they wish. And
well, I would assume there would also be client states, right? Like Ethiopia and Cambodia and whatever would be allowed to trade there. I guess, is Cambodia landlocked? I think so, right?
They got ocean cocked, I think, yeah.
It would be funny if the UN said, you're not allowed to be landlocked or whatever. And you were just
no, they're not landlocked.
No,
they're not
landlocked.
Oh, they do have a port?
Yeah, they have 443 kilometers.
They got some decent port.
Has Malay actually come out and said anything against BRICS, and I assume particularly Brazil's involvement in it? Or?
But Dog's ass, whatever guy.
SDA.
I thought that you were. I'm not sure what implication you were drawing from that China does this type of thing. Are you suggesting that they're not very good at investing in terms of profit, or are you saying that this implies that BRICS is not?
No. It seems to be mirroring the 1970s World Bankapades, where you go around the world and you give these massive multi-million-dollar projects to these little countries on loan, and then you come back and you reap the most amount of benefit from them. Whereas currently the Western kind of World Bank stuff has moved beyond that and is really targeting where is our money best spent. So we spent $130 million building a bunch of solar panel and wind power infrastructure on this one smaller island nation. And it was I have to go redig this kind of stuff up. What I mean is China is just now falling into what we were doing 60, 70 years ago that most people said was not good. In terms of the arrangements and agreements between the countries.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I probably agree with that for the most part.
But they're still going to be economically beneficial. You're building a massive fucking port. That's jobs, that's, commerce. Right. But I'd have to go re-dig into all the numbers and metrics. But I think in general, you're going to get dollar for dollar more benefit out of your Western aid projects than the ones out of China or Russia. Well, I don't even know if Russia does any real aid projects other than sending fucking weapons to people. Does anybody know that? Does Russia really do that? I mean, I guess they've been.
I don't know. I would be surprised.
They've been saying they've been sending grain to Africa, but
Minimal at best.
yeah,
They're not building ports anywhere. Let's be real.
yeah. Well, they are, but they're all upon the northern Arctic coastline.
Yeah, like they're building like a port in the middle of like a swamp, hoping that global warming makes it useful in 200 years.
No, they're capitalizing on the boom in natural gas. They want to basically they want to monopolize the northern sea route so that they can get natural gas from their Arctic plants all the way out to North Korea. So they have like massive icebreakers and shit.
Okay, so I'm reading here that one of the first things Malay wants to do is like remove Argentina's application to BRICS, which apparently they filed for application, and that's one of the first things he wants to do is to leave that, which is pretty fun. And I assume that would just have to be like, I want to look good for the West, because like, you know, is there any downside to just being a part of it, like for the sake of it? I don't know.
Well, there's more than that. Hedging your bets seems to be better on the West so far. You know, we have what was thought to be the world's second strongest army getting defeated by like the 13th strongest army. And then, I don't know. China's really always upset internally with their Evergrande and retail markets.
Yeah, how about fuck China?
But fuck China.
Fuck China.
Sure.
That's our position at Springtime of Nations.
That would be cool if Argentina did join BRICS, but we're actually just a Western aligned, like just a fifth columnist entity within BRICS.
Hell yeah. And just vote against everything if they have any voting power.
I don't even know how BRICS works. I feel like it doesn't even work that way. It's like not really, it's like just like a meme.
Yeah,
unironically,
financial group.
It's sort of to make a statement. I would say it doesn't actually have any power on its own.
The statement is, "Oh, colonialism is bad."
No, Western.
I could unironically see if Malay like one Donald Trump ringing up him and being like, "You have to join BRICS and be the fifth column."
So like
Be a
BRICS,
Donald Trump move.
I mean, if you rank the BRICS countries by anything, it's like China way at the top, and then everyone else at the bottom. So like, I don't like. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what do they have in common?
And being poopy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why isn't Cuba in BRICS?
Why isn't Zimbabwe in BRICS? Like, it just seems random to me.
Yeah.
I feel like countries have to be like big enough or influential enough to like, I don't know, be considered in the first place, maybe.
They're like so tiny compared to China, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why do they get to hang out?
Oh,
Well, the distance between Brazil and China is probably a lot less than the distance between Cuba and China in terms of power, influence, anything.
wrong.
Yeah, you forgot the Cuban.
Cuba invaded more countries in the last century than China ever did.
You also forgot the Cuban hold on American baseball. Yeah, the real important stuff.
Is that true? I think David would be the most informed to make Like whether he left. We'll never know.
Was that a Cuban?
No, but he's really into baseball, so he could probably tell us if they really were still like extreme.
No, now it's Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
Ranger baseball.
Well, according to Wikipedia, in 2024, Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE were to join BRICS. And the idea is to build a multipolar world order.
What does it mean, were? Was
Sorry?
there a stalling? You said were to join BRICS.
Argentina looks like it might not if Malay wins. And then I think a couple of these other countries, I think I remember reading them being sort of hesitant since announcing this. But
Yeah, I definitely would be suspicious of Saudi Arabia joining for anything other than just like blatant personal gain. Like they're not going to have any real alliance to it if Biden gives them the go ahead on the Air Force stuff.
Wait, sorry, what about Cuban baseball?
Oh, I was just saying Cubans have like, maybe not so much today, but they were like the stranglehold on American baseball competitiveness for a while.
There were a lot of like great Cuban baseball players. Yeah, I mean, there's still like some great Cuban baseball players. Like not as much probably, but like there's still like there's a lot of defectors from Cuba who like make it to the American League eventually.
The Guisanos.
We don't use that word around here.
Well, I'm a decolonialist leftist, so I will.
I'm gonna decolonialize your mom's pussy.
What does that even mean?
What does it mean to Russia to decolonialize something?
Denazify.
Only
Denazify your mom's pussy. How about that? How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, gentrify your mom's.
Yeah, that one makes sense actually. Somehow.
degoifying.
So how long until we have it?
Should be soon. Should be. People are saying we're going to get the results at the top of the hour. It's funny that
in regards to my mum's pussy, I'm a NIMBY.
You're an MB? Or a NIMBY?
No, NIMBY.
Not in my mom's pussy. I like that, actually. Not in my mom's pussy.
One of the guys in chat has a good suggestion. Can you add a Subway Surfers loop to the stream?
Yeah.
Listen, we're all old. I don't even know what a Subway Surfer is. What the fuck was that?
Is your friendly neighborhood quack addict?
Yeah, James, you better shut that down.
That wasn't me.
I don't believe you.
Fine.
It's always you in the other group.
No.
James, why don't you contribute something?
It's stupid.
Okay, I
Can't
might
contribute
have to.
anything. I
I
can't
might
say
have to
anything.
put my foot down here.
We're Americans. Fuck ISIS. Fuck terrorists. Fuck turbans. Fuck everybody.
Fuck turban, did he say?
I hate all you motherfuckers. We're fucking Americans. That means nobody's fucking stops us. We want our dick sucked. We get our dick sucked. That's what an American does. Ask the fucking
Amen.
pilgrims. Fuck 9/11.
Fucking
Is that
9/11.
Joey Diaz?
I love the idea saying fuck 9/11.
fuck 9/11. It'll never happen again. You what?
Good old Joey Diaz.
You what?
Is that Plankton?
Yeah. I think I have that one, but it's yes. Yes. Yes.
Who voiced Plankton?
I don't know. Who voiced Plankton?
Or someone else?
Are you gonna remember this name once it's okay?
Mr. Lawrence?
It's possible
No,
he.
this is-
I mean, I'm more interested in like, was he in other things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Also, his
Douglas-
friend is Sheldon. Bazinga?
Douglas Lawrence Olowski is the guy who did the 1990s voice.
Is there a new guy now?
Yeah, probably. No, it's the same guy, 1999 through 2023.
Yeah, why you?
It didn't say specifically in the top, so.
Okay.
Because I know there's several new seasons, there's new directors, there's after the first 2 seasons in the movie, there's nothing good as Bunkland.
Oh, he's also Larry the Lobster, which makes sense. Very similar voice.
Living like Larry.
I can't talk right
like
now.
cyberpunk feudalism.
What is that?
There's 2 of us playing something at the same time.
I heard cyberpunk feudalism. Let's see. He was.
It was from some ANCAP debunked video.
We got owned. Did you guys know that we actually support feudalism?
Instances, the harassment may be verbal.
Word around the offices.
It's like the Chinese like trying to make the US look evil, but they make it look cool.
Yeah,
like, that's what cyberpunk feudalism is.
It would be
ANCAPs actually support feudalism.
True.
Somebody get Richard Wolff in here. You want to talk about feudalism?
Yeah.
The only thing I know about Richard Wolff is he had like this like exchange at like a college like talk where he was like,
Socialism.
I want to see one crime that Stalin committed or whatever.
You know, Destiny is going to be debating Ben Shapiro next month, right?
On what? Like whether or not how hard they should kiss
In theory.
trannies or something?
No, I think it's on Israel-Palestine.
Wait, who's
I mean, I know Destiny is kind of like centrist build
Destiny.
on this, right?
Stephen Bonnell.
Or Israel.
Largely, and that he doesn't have like a super strong stance one way or the other, but like it's really hard to like support the Palestinians right now with 40 dead babies decapitated.
Oh, the babies! Oh.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't 40 decapitated dead babies. It was 40 dead babies, and some of them were decapitated. My bad.
Every time Destiny
know why you're
tweets
saying
something like based or about race, Ryan Fuck quote tweets it, and he's like, Aryan Destiny being based in.
Maybe just to undermine him.
I don't know. I think he agrees with him a lot and just calls him Aryan Destiny to bully
Destiny
him.
does a lot like against like the alt right though, so I would assume that that there's some bad blood.
Maybe.
I mean, Ryan's kind of, alternative hypothesis is kind of crazy in a lot of ways. So it could
He's
be
my
possible.
favorite character.
He's very. I mean, I don't
He's
know.
gotten very bad in recent years.
Yeah, when he became Nazbol, that was the end for me.
Yeah, I still think about that tweet, like talking about how Seinfeld is so good. Have you guys seen that?
Is not good or is good?
No, he's like he would like really loved Seinfeld and he had never seen it, and the replies were like, "Oh, consume the electronic Jew," and he was like, "Guys, it's a show about nothing. It's so good."
Yes,
I think he made a very funny video, which was like about Yu-Gi-Oh cards and how with Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering and whatnot, there's like this really cringe thing where the company in their advertising says like these are the official cards. They designed this game. You have to use the official cards. You can't make your own. But no one has that attitude about chess or with poker or with like any other game.
Can I introduce you to Warhammer 40,000 and Games Workshop?
Yeah. So that basically all of that, and then he says, what these companies are doing is the equivalent to fentanyl or crack cocaine on children, and they have to all be banned. That was like his ending argument. Was that?
Wait,
like,
do you remember that when
them
he started becoming
Who is this?
anti-market?
Who is this you're talking about?
Ryan Falk, aka Alternative Hypothesis.
I don't know.
Do you remember when he was like, because World of Tanks had artillery and it was like a broken like mechanic, he was like, this is why the state needs to run the economy.
I don't remember that one.
His argument was, well, World of Tanks has first user advantage, so I have to play this game if I want like a tank simulator with lots of people in it. Which is crazy because he literally released this when War Thunder had a huge market share and still does.
You know what's funny is the alternative to him doing that is going and being productive economically and just buying all the vehicles. He would spend less time just working in the market and buying all the vehicles than he would to like sit there and play it and grind it all out.
Okay, that also reminds me. If you guys remember Jim Profit Communist, like an old 2000s.
I remember Jim Profit.
His thing, like, it seemed like he was like his motivating function that was like driving him to be a communist was his hatred of like forum moderators. So, this is why we need communism, because moderators are bad.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like, what do you think a commissar is? They keep referring to the party's bunker, and this is like the English-speaking version. It's like they keep saying.
I think it's pretty common these days. I saw it a lot during the last election cycle. Inside the Biden bunker or the Trump HQ, or
that. I mean, that is a fine kind of like way to present it, but like, I mean, saying it every single time. Okay, so they say bunker. 2 minutes ago, they say bunker.
Who is this? The Spanish?
No, Bloomberg.
Well, no, you have to call it the Malay Mansion, bro. It's the Malay Mansion.
They're just bored. They don't got nothing to say, so they're going to call it the bunker because it sounds cool.
I guess so.
Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I'm eating salad.
Shallots?
Salad.
Oh. Okay.
A Caesar salad.
I like a nice Caesar salad. Got any?
You're telling me Julius Caesar, who was stabbed 57 times in the back, made a salad?
Yeah. And also there's anchovies. Preliminary numbers should be coming in around now. Let's see.
How does Argentina feel about the Falkland Islands these days?
You know, it's funny. That's what I asked my friend. I mean, specifically Milei's position. Oh, well, you know, we have someone here who kind of knows his position.
So it's still like, this is like the man on the street opinion on them. They're Argentinian. They're obviously Argentinian. And you can't run if you have any, even like a little bit of an opinion that the Falklands are not Argentinian. It's still like a very sore spot. And Milei's position is that they are rightfully Argentinian, but that the links between the UK and Argentina should be like become closer, kind of, and like have like
use it as like a formal diplomatic agreement rather than conflict.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just looked up, said that he wants to. He said that they will respect the Falkland Islands, but that he wants to do something like Hong Kong, where like they're like gradually transferred to Argentina.
But instead actually guaranteeing the 30 years of independence, you know, or whatever, and 10 years or so for whatever it was.
Yeah, there's start well. So Milei has been like in RG media for like years and years and years and years, and like I followed him for a long time, and he had this story about his dad not talking to him because he like talking about the Falklands. He said that it was retarded and like all the Argies were gonna die. He like got slapped, and then he didn't speak to his dad for like 5 years.
Damn, wait, I think he was 12 years old when the Falklands War happened.
Yeah, no, like this is like way like a grown up conversation.
Oh, and he said it was stupid. Sorry,
Yeah,
the way you
yeah.
the way you said it made me think it was kind of like present tense or whatever. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, another thing about Millet that English speaking media hasn't picked up, his girlfriend is pregnant. He has like some hot girlfriend from Argentinian TV, and she's pregnant now.
Epic. What do you think about him? Do you think, like, okay, so I know, for example, there are certain countries like France where infidelity is not like a career ender.
Certain types of infidelity.
So yeah, I agree. Yeah, they have nuance about it. What is the Argentine position on like Millet's particular like sexual appetites?
I think it's pretty. It's weird. Like it's not normal to be a tantric instructor in Argentina. It probably looks worse there than here. I mean, it's still a Catholic country.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who's worse on sex stuff, Catholics or Protestants. They're both pretty bad. I've met far more of an ashamed Protestant than I have a Catholic, though, but I live in the U.S., so...
In my experience, Catholic countries, and, to a certain extent, France is a Catholic country. France was a Catholic country, certainly. These stereotypes started arising, right?
Yeah, but really hardcore puritanicalism to the extreme was us Protestants,
Right, no, but they're not like prudish, but it's unambiguously wrong to not.
Yeah, it still has a history.
Fucking Super Bowl, baby. Fuck you, Detroit. Oh my god, I thought the Lions were supposed to be the best team in the NFC. Everybody's saying they're going to the fucking Super Bowl. Fuck that. No, they ain't. The Ravens have exposed them for the fucking frauds they really are, yo.
Sorry, I was listening to Stav, like, doing, like, some crazy... like, oh, bro, I don't know, some football team won over another one, and Baltimore was very happy, or whatever.
Thanks to Max the Confessor for donating $9.99.
Oh my god, I didn't
terrible
see that.
stream.
What? That's insane. Literally, my friend messaged me, like, acknowledge your dono. I had no idea what that meant.
You fucking idiot.
What do you mean? I've never had a donation, so why would I even know? Anyway,
well,
yes,
it's even more monumental. It's your first donation, dude. You got to pump this guy's ego up. Come on, let's go.
I agree. I mean,
more fun.
I can't express how thankful I am. I mean, we're just like, being dumbasses online. So, yeah, thank you, Max.
Sure.
No, you should just be super cool. Like,
don't even. Yeah, because
then more people will donate. Like,
true.
Whoever talks shit about the missile again, I'm going to send every goddamn taxpayer dollar I have to your position.
Israel.
Yeah, Israel. France fell to the Galicians, then the Galicians fell to the revolutionaries. So true.
Okay, I have a question. Adrian, how do you feel like how do you feel about historical characters like Charlemagne?
Charlemagne.
Specifically Charlemagne?
Yeah, specifically Charlemagne.
Oh, I think he was a bad guy. I mean, there's the old Acton line where great men are very rarely good men. I mean, how many like Charlemagne was like one of those guys.
You mean on the personable level, he was not a good person,
No,
or his action?
Acton was referring to his moral character in his role as state leader, right?
Oh, okay.
He invaded other countries. Thousands of people died because of him. I mean,
He also secured most of Western heritage literature and future throughout doing that.
I mean, is that even true? I mean, he invaded Germany.
Well, from a historical context, yes, it is true. The manuscripts that he profligated around the Western world built a lot of our modern libraries and information on the archaic texts.
Okay, but if he was only just the king of the Franks, couldn't he have also done that?
No, not likely, because his access to those texts wouldn't have been available. He wouldn't have been able to amass the resources required to build these monolithic institutions centered around the distribution of literature and knowledge. Does that make sense? Without becoming the literal
he could buy them
emperor, able to.
Maybe, but is that worth the lives of thousands of people?
Yeah, in my opinion.
That's bad.
To call the Franks people, that's a stretch.
True.
No, I see him as a great figure in history and a necessary one. But
I mean, who even cares about manuscripts?
I do. I want to get one day.
Have you ever read, are there any of these that, changed the world?
Yes, quite literally. One of the only reasons we know of the collected works of Archimedes is because of these manuscripts.
Okay, but Archimedes, there wasn't this mechanical revival of people using Archimedes.
What do you think the entire Renaissance was?
Oh no, it was not. First of all, okay, you're memeing.
I am a little bit there, but these contributions that Charlemagne made to the world of literature, history, and education directly flows into the Renaissance. And the reemployment of classical logic and rhetoric and ideals of math.
I mean,
wasn't
the biggest factor that you had refugees from Byzantium?
Mm-hmm. That's a large factor for sure. But the access later on down the road, in modern times, the biggest reaping benefits we have are the access to these historical texts, because 99% of all historical texts are lost in history, and the ones that we do have are incredibly valuable. Imagine if we didn't have Euclid's shapes. Yeah.
Are you saying Charlemagne is a great guy because manuscripts were saved?
Oh no, that was one of the large reasons. Is that he?
Well, that seems like a terrible reason.
It does.
Because any random dictator, king, whatever, can just seize a kingdom or something that ensures manuscript. So we can throw that reason out.
Well, no.
I think okay, that is a good point.
That's not. Hold on, that is a good point. But what I'm banking on is the historical reality and its effects. Sure, he was sort of a bad dude during a time when bad dudes were very prevalent, but he also brought about very good things later down along the line in history that we can verify and prove right now. We're not just going to take that example of Charlemagne and say any dictatorial power in history can now just do this, minor autistic bookkeeping and call himself grand. There's more to the story, of course, but this is a large portion of Charlemagne's benefit to the West, is that this heritage of literature and history and knowledge.
I don't actually even know if I agree with this point empirically. On our $10 dono, Max the Confessor is disputing it as well. He says that all of that was in Byzantium, and every time the Byzantines had safe access to the West would get worse. I mean, there's a lot of places that had many of these manuscripts. I'm not sure that we can really credit this whole thing to Charlemagne. Also, it's not even clear that this is something that Charlemagne knew or intended was going to happen. It's going to be
Also,
completely unknown.
also, I think
No. The illuminated manuscripts are like a distinctly Charlemagne thing. The distribution of these manuscripts was how he brought about a large portion of his geopolitical negotiation.
There were drawings in it, so that's the major benefit of Charlemagne's rule, is that they had funny pictures.
You're thinking of the Scottish illuminated manuscripts, the ones that they looked on for hours upon hours. Did you ever get around to watching Civilization by Kenneth Clark?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think another point of contention to raise is the idea that like maybe Charlemagne did this, okay, and was able to get a bunch of manuscripts. But if you're a conquering emperor, how are you dissuading some other person from just invading France, not caring about the manuscripts, selling them, burning them, or whatever?
Well, you have to be bigger and better. Charlemagne did not. Charlemagne's path to emperor was seeded centuries before his existence. When what was it? Something the Elder, Cato, not Cato. Charlemagne.
It's like Laringian the Elder of the King.
Yeah, it's basically, Charlemagne did not start down the road himself to emperor. He started himself down to simply being king of the Franks and ended up with emperor because nobody else could beat him.
Sure. I mean, okay, but something I think about. Wow, there's such a delay on the.
It's going to be 10 to 15 seconds.
Not for the chat, but for the video.
Yeah.
This is what I found. I'm watching it right now, and it's when we were talking about if melee was attractive or not. Anyway,
it may literally be frozen.
No, it's going. It's going.
I think maybe I'm doing it too much of the balancing of moral scales in history of he only killed a few thousand people, but also secured this massive heritage for the West. I'm okay with that.
Probably killed tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, probably. But also we're looking at a time period of complete unrest, almost complete unrest.
It just seems so irrelevant. What if he had invaded an area that had the last remaining, unbeknownst to him, herb in it that was very valuable for later medical research, and because of him, this herb was preserved. So therefore,
right, it wasn't like he was going in trying to create the Renaissance, right?
No. I don't think any person goes into anything trying. The thing that actually comes out is not the thing that they were trying for. It's going to be some related image or some mirrored image, such as Adolf Hitler and the Nazis on being unable to wrangle the world into their control, or Charlemagne being able to conquer and establish the empire of the Franks and the Holy Roman Empire. You do know that he regretted being crowned as king by the Pope, right?
Who? Oh, Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Well, he was king. You mean emperor, but yes.
Crowned emperor by the Pope. Yeah, he regretted that decision very, very heavily.
I have a question that's been brought up in the chat also. What do you guys think Agent Q's impact on the election will be?
In Argentina, specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're trusting the plan. Massa will be elected.
Stand back, stand by.
Yeah. Peronis, stand back, stand by.
What is Bloomberg saying? Anything?
We are going to get results momentarily.
Here we
go. Oh. Massa 36%. Bad news. Millet 31%. Decent news. Bullrich 24%. Very, very good news. 76 of the vote, I guess, was pre-counted or whatever.
Well, like early voters?
No, it's 76, so it wouldn't be early voters, right? But it looks like it's going to be
Apparently-
Massa, who is the center-left Peronist candidate, who is was an official during the ruling party, and them driving the economy into the ground. Milei at 31.
Fuck, we need an Agent Q to intervene right now.
Hey, what's Millet's running mate like? Or do they have any significance? Or
He has a lady who's kind of more traditionalist conservative.
Sure,
Kinda
I'd expect it.
They apologize for the right wing military regime and Operation Condor or whatever. So yeah, she's more conventional conservative. She's from a different party.
Yeah, I would expect as much.
Yeah.
But she's definitely not.
VP is kind of not even as America. In America, VP actually has a uniquely powerful position.
Yeah, especially in the split Senate.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've jerked off and come to the fact that Dianne Feinstein is dead? Oh.
What do you mean?
Oh.
Aren't you people?
I can just imagine.
You like people
her,
being bombed.
Look, I can just imagine her moldy burlap bag of rotten peaches of a mouth being face fucked by Satan right now. Okay. Oh, I hate her so much.
Oh. Yeah, she's bad. But I mean, you like people bombing other people, so why do you dislike?
I don't know why you tell me this. I don't like people bombing other people. I just would rather my people bomb other people.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what Feinstein would say. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're
a single issue
you
voter on
believe that,
firearms.
but you're a gun
Yeah,
friend.
so I'm a single issue voter on firearms. That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
So what is it? Libertarian? I forget what your last video called. Liberal interventionist.
Libterventionists.
Is that what you call me now?
I mean, depends on your stance on Israel, bro.
I don't really have a strong stance. I mean, I honestly don't know what to do other than just let Israel go ham at this point.
So pro-Israel. I mean,
No. I don't know what the other options are. Are we going to start sanctioning, embargoing, and taking
Hamas
operations?
Literally said 8 days ago, let's have a ceasefire.
Okay, but Hamas also, in their founding documents and statements, call for the complete destruction of every Jew, and still today call for the complete destruction of Israel and every Jewish person within it.
Okay.
This is... Okay.
What is North Korea? What does
hold
North
on.
Korea say about South Korea?
Now, I will also say that Hamas is directly cultivated and a reaction to the actions of people like Bibi Netanyahu and Ben Gvir. That they actually largely benefit from the existence of Hamas and want the existence of Hamas. And they've stated as such that Bibi has literally come out and said, I intentionally weakened and divided the West Bank and Gaza so that the Palestinian Authority would fall through and that Hamas would rise so that I could justify more, aggressive actions. So I'm knowledgeable of all this, but I still don't see a path forward other than UN mandate. But even that doesn't seem like an option.
No kidding. I mean, when was the last actual long-term UN mandate?
Yeah, well, that's not even the issue there, right? That's
Well, them not having practice, I think, is a good argument against it. Even if you accept it in the sense that they had the moral right to do it. I mean, the technical last UN mandate was the Marshall Islands becoming independent or something like that.
Maybe. For me, it has nothing to do with the effectiveness of a UN mandate, rather than Israel and Gaza or Israel and Palestine would not accept a UN mandate, and it would be maybe even more violent, or just it wouldn't even happen, right? Because Israel sits on the UN, don't they?
What do you mean? I mean, they're a member.
Yeah, they're a member. They're not a security council or anything, but they're a member, and Gaza or Palestine's not, right? They're not.
I
even
believe
formally.
they are a non-voting member even now.
It is. Palestine.
This
Palestine
looks like
has been a non-member.
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. I just have some
Observer.
news. I have some Argentina news. This looks like it could be the worst case scenario for markets on Monday morning, with uncertainty in election spending looking set to cause inflation to spiral even further.
Is this for United States? No.
Malay versus Massa in the second runoff, I think, would be the worst of all possible scenarios.
Who's saying this?
Estiruelis of Esmo Asset Management. This is very good for us, though, because Massa represents the ruling party and very unpopular. The worst case scenario would have been like the center right, the mainstream, quote unquote conservative party, getting in power, or not getting in power, but specifically fighting Milei, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that aren't of the mind that like we need something radical to change. There's a lot of people evidently that feel that way, but like not the majority. So they would probably back better. Certainly, the center leftists would be like better a center rightist than a libertarian. But even some center rightists / right wing people might recoil from the idea that we have to try something radical. But this is a very good situation that Milei and the libertarians are in Argentina. Because you have to choose when the ruin you see now, done by the Peronists, and another option.
But do you not think the most likely winner right now is going to be the far righters or whatever, the right wing party?
It's a runoff. So it's Milei. Milei is going to win. I'm 80% certain, maybe even slightly higher. But in mid-November, there's going to be a runoff, and I think Milei will win. Yes, 31%. Boric, the center right, got 24%. So we know, of the undecideds, there's enough to push Milei to the top. So I would say he has a very good chance. So it's a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. Q is mobilizing his Argentina assets. Source: Real Raw News. What was that Bangladeshi site you found, Nick?
I found it, and it's like there's Real Raw News, and then there's this Bangladeshi website that reposts all the articles of Real Raw News without permission, but they also repost a whole bunch of other articles, and we came to the conclusion that it's just a normal Bangladeshi scam news site that doesn't really know that Real Raw News is insane. They're just oh wow, this is hot news.
Yeah.
Left candidate gets over 10% more than Milei.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
No. No.
Actually, that only Aussies elect. That only gets in once he's hit the 40% line. You can't get 35% and your runner and your whatever closest opponent gets 11. You don't become president. You still have to do a runoff. So So even if Massa got 36 and somehow Millet got, I don't know, what is it? 25, you still would have to go to the runoff. If that is true, like if that's like the final result, that is a little disappointing. Because I was hoping, I was hoping Millet would run up those kind of numbers, 35, 36.
This dude wants to be part of your community, Adrian. Get him the link to the Discord.
No, but we're working on a community Discord.
Okay. You're bad at having a community.
Okay, we can add him to the Twitter group chat.
That's not a Springtime of Nations community. You running a YouTube channel, or is this some fucking back alley bullshit? What's going on here?
What do you mean?
What you need to do is just give us like special roles and then have the stream.
Listen, I'm working on it. Okay.
Bro, it's like 2 minutes of work.
Just like weird things with like different. The structure needs to be. Listen, we're working on it.
This is why there's no libertarian YouTube channels. Libertarians are just lazy bastards.
Look at Lozana's hustling though. He's like, you can also pay to join the friend. He's not even in the server, and he's still like, listen, you can pay money to my guy here. You do not have to pay for this, but I will say it's gonna be invite only.
It's so dumb. Oh my god.
No, you need to just set it up so it's like roles and like the cool. You have to invite only roles, and they have the.
We're working on it.
You're working on it. What the fuck? What did you do today while you were working on this?
I'm waiting to hear back from my guy.
From your guy. Your guy. You know. No.
You don't even know. Okay, you don't even know. You've never run a server. You don't know.
I run a server to an extent that I've set one up and established roles. It doesn't really take more than a few minutes.
Well, I bet you I could crash that in like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Anyway, let's check back on the election. Nothing really new. Okay, let's get back to this stupid argument.
I think the roles and the whole setup of the server should be done by the end of today. At least.
Yeah, I'll keep that under advisement.
You don't acknowledge donuts. People are begging to be part of your community, and you're like, no. Like, what is wrong with you?
Hold on a second. I did not acknowledge it. I didn't know it happened.
Oh my god.
I didn't get a notification. I was like, oh, well, you know, of course we're getting money. Like, no, you said don't. You messaged me, hey, you should acknowledge this dono or whatever. Listen, if you wanted to do that, you'd be like,
yeah, that was your update. That was the pain.
Holy cripes! Holy cripes! Someone gave us money.
Yeah, that's what I did because you didn't.
No, you messaged me on back channels, and you're like a dono. You could have said donation. You could have said donation.
Oh, I didn't spell out donation. Yeah.
I don't know what a dono is. I've never received one.
Don't know what a fucking dono is. Okay.
I don't. Sorry, I'm not like a Destiny stan.
It's over. Springtime of Nations is over.
It's just begun.
You know what would help Springtime of Nations restart after it being over? You don't know what would make it so we're back? Having Gunther failing go on?
I'm not against it, but let's talk about this in private. mean, to fill dead air, maybe we can talk about it. I don't know.
Dead air.
Dead air, dead ass.
So what's your general views on ex Russia?
Dead air for a dead channel.
Shut up. Shut up. How many subscribers does your channel have?
I don't think I have a channel.
Yeah, bitch, you got 0. You
Yeah.
have a channel because you have an account.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, 0. For some reason, my like personal channel has like 2 subscribers, even though I
Probably
have
bots.
videos.
I guess bots. But anyway,
I assume they're bots.
You had a question.
So what's your position on ex Russia?
Okay, I mean, I think his map is like good, like a good map now, but I'm fine with the decolonization of Russia. You know, nationalities getting their own states out of Russia, I support. The only thing is, I feel like he would be, I don't know, he would say like some insane thing that I couldn't just let him say. That like, oh yes, and Crimea will return to Ukraine or something like that.
I'm not too sure. But I do know one of the more like probably things you'd have an issue with is like part of the like ex Russia would be NATO goes in and denuclearizes everything. And so only
If
like
it was
the
voluntary,
northwestern NATO.
then it's fine. But you know, yeah, I don't think the UN should like denuclearize just random people.
Don't you think that would basically, like, whatever this balkanizing Russia thing would just basically cause another civil war, like it's the Russian Civil War situation?
Well, remember, quote unquote Russia lost something like 1.5 million square miles in the 90s, right? It significantly shrunk.
Right.
But there wasn't, Chechnya aside, and you can consider that, I suppose, a civil war, but it's not really the kind of scale that you're trying to talk about, right?
Yeah, you're just saying sometimes countries can break up without there being a civil war. Yes,
Well,
I know that. But in this case,
hold on. This isn't just like a luck. Okay, 15 countries left the Soviet Union.
now you're
None
reiterating.
of them. What?
You're just reiterating that sometimes this can happen, and this is one such example. Yeah.
Well, I just have to. I think it's worth pointing out that
Okay,
there was
you
such
pointed it out.
there was such a massive secession, and there was no civil war. There wasn't any fighting. People, like, the Soviet guards just were like, they refused to like use arms.
You're just not addressing the question. I mean, obviously, there's so many differences between the collapse of the Soviet Union and some sort of balkanization of Russia. One key element.
It depends. It depends.
Well, this is happening
It could be a political failure, right? Like what is it called? United Russia, like just collapses, right? Suddenly, there's not like a ruling party. You could see something. I don't know. You can't predict.
But if it's happening at the end of the war in Ukraine, and this Gunter plan that NATO is having a huge role in it, this seems much more like a forced invasion
peace.
collapse
Yeah.
that's just way more likely to create a civil war situation than something like what happened with the Soviet Union.
Well, I suppose it's interesting. Excuse me. To note that you think that like foreign interventions increase the likelihood of civil wars?
In many situations, yeah, they do.
I think
you think I'm
No.
generally in favor of foreign interventions or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess you'll have to use your calculator. Figure out
Yeah.
how many you support and how many you don't. And then we can
I have to use my calculator.
Yeah. You got an Asian friend?
No, I don't have any friends.
That's not true. You have one friend who is Asian. He happens to be Asian.
Benjamin Ikuda?
No,
Myself?
the nuclear device against the Japanese in the World War II. That friend.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, just have him run the numbers.
Yeah.
You saw Oppenheimer, right?
Actually, I did not. I heard it had sex scenes in it, so that I didn't see it.
Okay, I will say there's like overall something like 30 seconds of sex scenes. And it's a 3-hour movie.
Okay. Maybe I'll see it.
Are you memeing when you say you won't watch it because it has sex scenes?
Yeah, it was a bit of a meme, although I do not like movies that have an excessive amount of sex scenes in them.
It's definitely not excessive. I mean, it's excessive to me because I think none should have sex scenes. But it's pretty low on that level.
Okay. Really? That's weird. I heard it had like excessive sex, but whatever. Maybe that was bullshit.
No.
Maybe it was excessive like romantic subplots or something.
Sort of. I mean, they talked about it quite a bit.
When he's on top of the woman, does he say, "I've become death, destroyer of worlds"? Or
When he's on the bottom.
oh, okay.
It's a very stupid scene. There's
Wait, does that actually happen?
Okay, so yeah, like he's at like this dinner party and like this like epic like a scientist woman is like telling me about the Bhagavad Gita, and he just randomly opens the line and starts reading it out while they're like having sex.
But it's that line. That's also a misspeaking of the line. But whatever. Does he read that line?
He does read the line.
Okay.
That's the only
pretty
time the
funny.
line is referenced. It's not after the detonation, which is kind of funny. Given that that's allegedly...
No, they should have included the real life scene where he's in the bathroom practicing saying that in the mirror after like killing
Yeah, that would be
1,000
good.
Japanese people. He's practicing saying it. He's like, oh, does that sound
guys,
cool?
did you hear me? I said I'm death, destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, headline, Millet is going into the second round, and he has a good chance. I'm going to downgrade a little his chances, because initially I said like 85, because I was expecting a very good result. I'll say 75% chance that he becomes president on November 19th, which is the runoff.
Wait, so how do elections work in Argentina? I'm like completely ignorant on this. I only know the American system and like the New Zealand system, which is MMP.
I mean, in some ways, Argentina has like literally a 3-round system. So there's like general primaries, but if you get less than 5% of the national vote in the primaries, you can't run in the main primary. Okay, or not in the main election. So this is the first round of the main election. Only the two highest polling people can win. And if you get over 45% of the vote, if your opponent has less than 25%, you immediately win. Otherwise, it's a majority vote to like head-to-head second round. So that's how it
Okay.
works. So Millet will probably win in every single poll that I've ever seen. Millet wins in a head-to-head against everyone. So he's going to become president. So we won, Reddit.
Nice.
And how does like I know this is gonna sound like this is gonna expose how ignorant I am. Like, how does like the actual like government work? Is there like a parliament?
There's a legislature. I mean, you don't have to be like, oh, sue me for not knowing how Argentina's government system works. There's a very powerful president, and the legislature does have the ability to block laws. However, after 4 years, only half of the lower house is up for election, and a third of the upper house is. So, I mean, I suppose it's a good thing that the president has a lot of power, just because it's impossible to kind of get a mandate right in the legislature in one cycle. But it is something to watch out. How well did Milei do for the deputies? Which, as of yet, there's no reporting.
So, what are the deputies?
The members of the legislature, the upper house and the lower house. Deputies are the lower house, senators are the upper house. But yeah, even if Milei swept, he could not get a majority in the legislature. But as I understand, that's not a huge problem. Just because the president is very powerful.
What's up, Adrian?
Who is it?
Oh, this is remember from me from like 6 months ago.
No.
Oh, damn.
Wait, no, yes, you have a
Yeah, you remember
YouTube,
me? Okay, good. Yeah,
YouTube
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, man? We're talking about Argentina.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been doing my homework in the meantime. I've been listening.
Your 8th grade homework.
7th grade.
Well.
Okay, you gonna share your essay with the class? Or?
Yeah, I'll share it with you guys.
Well.
Oh, I was joking.
Well, share something with the class. You came in here.
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, Adrian, you remember me?
Harbinger of memory.
Yeah, I have a really bad memory.
Not a good trait.
That's true.
Yeah, low IQ situation.
Yeah.
Well, what helps? I think I've heard nicotine helps with recall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, Sean used to talk about this all the time.
Yeah, he likes nicotine. I didn't know it was for recall as opposed to other cognitive things.
Recall.
Yeah, I thought it was for fluid intelligence.
I swear there was some advantage in recall. From
I swear to God.
You played a memory game or whatever, and you took nicotine, you're more likely to remember things. Excuse me.
According to the chat, Malay will be speaking in 15 minutes, but I don't know if there'll be like a stream of English subtitles or anything like that.
I can translate. We find it.
Yeah, we got a Hispanophone here. Well, let's check Bloomberg, because I'm sure they'll say ooh, Baba Boo is talking. He'll speak in about 30 minutes. And that was 10 minutes ago, so 20 minutes we have him talking. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, we got some decent results. I was not hoping for the moon that he was going to be able to win in one shot. But this is good, especially because I would have thought the only really bad outcome was him against the center right. But that's not the case anymore. Now the center right voters have to decide between Peronists and Malay. I think he will win.
Well, I want to ask a question, and like I think a lot of people sympathetic to Malay have been thinking like this entire time during the run up is like, any sort of candidate like him in New Zealand or Australia or most other countries would just be considered a complete clown, cuckoo head, and never have gone this far. Like, how do you think this
It's
even
just
happened?
because it's so bad. It's so bad in Argentina right now.
Yeah, that's the answer you gave me when I had the same question like a month or something ago.
I mean,
But-
inflation 100% in the past year. Can you imagine America going through that?
Even so,
It's
But
bad.
yeah, but then the other thing is like, I'm just not even sure like if in New Zealand, for instance, if we had 100% inflation, I feel the majority of people here would be like, okay, we need communism.
Right.
Right, that would be their immediate response.
Well,
Like,
the problem
they wouldn't
the problem,
buy into any of the free market stuff. I
the
just
problem-
think free
or
markets is what caused inflation.
Not the problem, but the difference is people feel like Argentina tried communism, basically, or tried socialism. Okay,
Yeah.
and that like the Socialist Party is the one that's failing. That's why they're willing to try anything. Because they had conservative, like right-wing junta governments. They've had center-left social democrat and third positionist governments. And now, like, there's this guy that's like, this is all bad. Like, you guys are doing the bad thing. Like, there's a secret third thing that we could do. And that's why he has such a big... something like 45% of young people support Malay.
Is there any ethno-nationalist or like religious radical type politics that's active at all in Argentina?
Not really.
Like kill?
Unless
Not really, no.
Yeah, if you want to count like, the Mapuche or whatever. But other than that, no.
Well, that helps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very multicultural society, and I don't just mean that like it's like lots of brown people, but it's like you have you have the old Spanish stock, you have the Germans, Italians, Arabs, Jews, Welsh, all kinds of
Why is that? That's an interesting question about Argentina too. Like, why is it that it doesn't seem like there's serious? I don't know. According to what you're saying,
it was very much a frontier nation in the 19th century. There was still a lot of it that was totally unexplored, lots of open ground. It was considered
does Brazil
like
have
this
this problem?
I mean, what do you mean by problem?
Ethnic rivalries causing political friction, which could likely result in like.
Oh, but I'm not saying that I'm not saying that there's like.
Is that also absent in Brazil?
No, because Brazil had a large enslaved population, and that's where the inflation comes from. But when it comes to
it's really just black people. That's the problem here.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
White / quote unquote colored people, pardos.
So you're saying the only way we can get Jeremy Kaufman for president is after AOC dictatorship that has like increased US inflation by 200%.
I mean, maybe, unfortunately, but I mean,
that's sad.
Yeah, but I mean, can you really see like your dad voting for anarcho-capitalism? It's got to get way.
I can't really see anyone other than.
My dad would vote for. Yeah, my dad might do that.
Not
That's a bad
not
question.
today. Not today, though, right? But with 100% inflation.
My dad's a bit of a nut job.
Is your dad an ANCAP?
No, but he just has wildly vacillating radical political opinions that he randomly makes up. I don't know. He's like a fucking internet person.
Who? What? Someone said something. Is there an echo in here?
I was just saying, no, my dad has like wildly vacillating, somewhat radical political viewpoints. So I could easily actually see him voting for an ANCAP if like they were like facing like Biden and Trump, and he'd be like, "This guy seems fucking better." Like I could
Has
see
he
him.
ever voted LP?
I don't think so, but he has voted like for random people or himself, or just like for some, or like for like Ron Paul when he's not even on the ballot or something like that.
Hell
Like,
yeah. Okay, we got 15 more minutes until Malay speaks.
do you have a stream set up for us to watch when that happens? No. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll do it since like the actual like YouTube stream is like a minute behind or whatever.
Well, I would say if there is an English subbed or dubbed stream of it, you should just put that on your thing. Will you get like taken down for that? For just like copying another person's stream?
I've heard of it happening, but I'm not sure. Do you see Malay doing anything like particularly crazy during his presidency if he does become president?
It's a good question. What would a Malay regime even look like realistically? I don't feel like I have a good grasp of it because his statements are all over the place. And well, when he was a deputy, what did he do? That might be a basis to make a decision or prediction.
He used to be very consistent years ago with saying that he didn't want to get into politics because he felt like it would corrupt him or something.
He's getting corrupted.
But I'm also like really curious what he might do.
Well, what did he do when he was in power? Wasn't he a deputy? Isn't he a deputy currently?
I don't know. What does a deputy do? He's mostly known for like being on TV and like destroying lefties kind of thing.
I say it's Jordan Peterson.
It's a crapshoot.
I don't.
It's a Hail Mary.
It would be very funny if he did like a very like sort of Peterson like Matt Walsh thing, and as president he would just go around to college campuses and do QAs and just epically own college students. I can see him doing that.
Well, like realistically, there's probably a bunch of low-hanging fruit things he can do. Like, I think he's opposed to abortion. I don't know if well, he's very, very opposed to abortion. I don't know if Argentinians generally are. He could like try to strengthen some rule on that or something. He could. He's obviously very capitalist, so he might just. I mean, there's so many things in Argentina that you could like privatize or like reintroduce some kind of like market liberalism into. That's probably really low hanging fruit.
Yeah, the thing I'm wondering about is like, you know, what's the most insane thing he would do? Is there like a 10% chance, for instance, that he would just stop elections from happening or something like that?
I have no idea.
All right, anything new happen?
Oh, I just asked, like, what do you think the most crazy thing a Malay presidency would do?
In terms of like his stated policy, it's possible he will try to like unironically, and I'm not necessarily against this, but it will be very crazy, like a total like free banking system. Like he might actually try that, but I don't think it's likely. He'll probably just dollarize and kind of sit on that, in my opinion. I mean, it's possible he'll like legalize something crazy like prostitution or whatever.
It's not even that crazy.
Well, I mean, if you like, I feel like most economies that have legalized prostitution in the past 100 years do it in like a very what do you call it? You know, it's like regulated way. Like he might literally be like, anyone can do it, like at any time. There's like no restrictions on it. That would be crazy, in my opinion.
I guess, but that wouldn't like have like massive social ripple consequences as opposed to like.
I mean, it definitely could, in my opinion.
Okay, well, sure. It's a weird opinion. I mean, I was thinking something more like if he like the craziest thing I can envision is he like tries to introduce like liberal reforms in such a slapdash way that it ends up being that like oligarchs end up with like privatized like shit, and then it ends up like being like a Russia horror story situation almost, something like that.
I will say, I mean, he's a trained economist. He knows Rothbard, so I assume he knows Rothbard like specifically warned against like situations where it becomes like who has like the best like bidding position, right? Like Rothbard even proposes like lotteries for like the ownership of these things. So yeah, I assume he won't fall into that kind of pitfall. Is there an example of like bad privatization happening after the like shock therapy meme? I mean, at least in the sense of like imposed by / endorsed by like Western countries. Because I suppose like just some random country could be like, we're privatizing our assets and do it badly. But like it seems like the shock therapy period, there was like they genuinely thought that they were doing the right thing. It seemed like, right, and they were like making a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I haven't read The Shock Doctrine recently, although I did hate that. I mean, that might have some example in it that could be an example, but that book was generally pretty bad, so probably not.
Not a recommend?
Oh no, it's a horrible book.
Poorly written or just badly sourced or what?
Just super misleading arguments. Like for example, like kind of like what you were just saying, where like privatization can go bad because like third world countries are retarded. So like one example that she talks about in the Shock Doctrine is like there's like a Sri Lankan fishing like villages and shit that had like these like beaches that they were like settled on, but there was like hotels near those beaches, and then there was a hurricane or something like that, and like or a tsunami, and like destroyed all these fishing villages. And then the government was like, okay, now we're going to privatize these beaches, and now they belong to the hotels. And somehow like she connects this to like Milton Friedman or like Hayek, and it's like, what? Where's the connection? It's just
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, this may as well have happened in like 1200, right? Yeah, there's no major. The difference, like people doing anything for money is considered like capitalist now.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll do the El Salvador Bitcoin thing? That'd be fun.
He may use state assets to buy Bitcoin. I could see that happening. He's certainly a fan of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin-backed cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin-backed gold.
Yeah.
Like a thing that says, like, on the back of your gold bar, like, redeemable in Satoshis or whatever. That would piss off Peter Schiff so much. Peter. I haven't
You
heard
can
from
like
Peter Schiff.
you can redeem your bitcoins in animal furs.
You can redeem your Bitcoin
In
for
wampum.
children and organs.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
That'd right.
I know, like, livers, like, a liver transplant is not like a whole liver.
Yeah,
I
it's like
suppose
70%.
you can just, like, divide up livers. I'll give you half a liver for that.
like chunks of a liver embedded in resin embedded in a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Being passed around.
Yep.
Like, do you know what goldbacks are?
Goldbacks?
When we were when we went to Porkfest, yeah, there's people, like, they were using this currency and it was basically like a laminated 1/10 of an ounce of gold or something, and that represented like $50. And there was even smaller ones, even like 1,000th of an ounce of gold.
Wow.
I have a couple. White Knight bought a couple. I think John bought a couple. Yeah, it's like, it's a cool idea, but like, it would be
Are they
funny.
flexible?
Yes. They're like wallet.
But
Very
laminated. Like, if you wanted to sell this to like a gold dealer who buys gold.
I think you could like melt it down or something.
Yeah, I mean that would be the question. How would you melt it down if there's like this?
Although I think
laminated
the
plastic?
idea is like the gold backs, like you can, but like the idea is basically like it becomes like currency, basically.
Right, I know, but I would feel like at least initially you would need to be something that could be traded into somebody who would
And
use the gold.
it literally is like 1,000th of an ounce of gold. So yeah, it has value.
Yeah.
I have a random question. Do like dharmic religions like revere gold?
I don't know if they revere it like. I mean, they use it a lot in like temples and to create statues and things like that.
Right.
I don't know if they revere it in and of itself.
I guess the golden temple, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the Sikh temple, but yeah, same idea. There's a lot of golden stuff inside Hindu temples as well. In fact, kind of a lot of like women will like just straight up go in there and just take off their gold jewelry and like throw it in the donation thing, and then like they'll melt that down and like use it to like create new statues or to coat them and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, do you think Malay will create like a church made out of ledger wallets?
Of what?
Ledger wallets, like the Bitcoin cold wallets?
Yeah. I don't know about that. I'll have to demur for this for the time being.
Okay. Well, part of my like, what is the most insane thing Malay could do? What's the percentage chance that he suspends elections? And it's like, I'm just king fan. Like, is it like 1%, like 10%, like what? 0?
Under 1%.
Okay, that's it.
Sorry.
Actually, this is,
I want him to suspend all the
this is something I didn't think of. The gold is like associated with the goddess Lakshmi, who's the goddess of wealth and money. So I mean, they literally have a goddess of money, obviously.
Based.
And like she's usually depicted with like gold coins like spewing out of her palm. Maybe she's the Fed or something, so they can inflate it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's devaluing my gold.
Yeah. So that is something. Like she's particularly associated with gold, like golden Lakshmi. Also, in one of the myths of how the universe was formed, it came out of a golden egg or a golden embryo.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that as well.
It's funny. Spooky and I watched Argentine movie recently, and a lot of it had to do with money because it was like about con artists. The name escapes me. Spooky, if you're still like,
It's Nine Queens in English. There's a horrible American version of it. Don't watch that.
Really? They try to remake it in English rather than just like.
Yeah, it's so bad.
But yeah, but anyway, it's about con artists and they're like trying to do sort of like a heist. I mean, they're kind of just like they're conning themselves into a deal, basically. But anyway, they talk a lot about like the currency and the money, and it's crazy to think like they're talking about like 5,000 pesos. And back then, I believe it's from like the 90s or like early 2000s.
I think it's like right at the edge, but around that time.
Yeah, and like 5,000 pesos is like, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's not a ton of money, but it's nothing to sneeze at. And now, 5,000 pesos will get you like a cup of coffee. Crazy.
Yeah. It does this scam where he pays with like a bill and he gets more change in return.
Right.
Like if they like updated that for inflation, it would be like, here's my like 10 million peso bill.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I don't understand about Argentina. If it's having like insanoid levels of inflation, then how does literally anything function in Argentina? Like, why is it not a like hellscape of crime and like everything's collapsing? How is it even organized enough to hold an election? I mean, this
It's bad, but I mean, remember, this is the digital age, right? Like, at least for like government institutions, they can just put another digit, on their budget or whatever. But Bloomberg posted this thing. Like, here's what $300 is worth at Argentina's most commonly used parallel exchange rate, the dollar blue. And it's just a fat set. If this was dollars, it would be literally like $10,000.
Yeah, also,
like almost
the
$1 billion.
The inflation rate is different for like different goods. So like some things are like so expensive, so you just like stop buying them. Or like a lot of what I've seen happen is that people still buying like something that you might typically buy like in a 6-pack. Now you just buy one, and a lot of that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, and inflation is like very damaging because of like literally like there's calculation issues, right? I mean,
Yeah, but it's not like
you can't
like,
you
from
can't
one
budget
day-
with like this kind of like rampant inflation.
Yeah, so people save a lot and they like buy dollars. People are like really organized about inflation in Argentina. Like it's like if it happens to like a even slightly lower IQ country, like total chaos. But they seem to be like, I mean, it's kind of moving actually. Like I listen to a lot of like Argentinian media, and they talk about like their little like budgeting tricks and like how they change their habits and stuff like that. But people like adapt, but it's not going well.
So, like, are there stores that will accept dollars or whatever else?
Not under the table kind of thing.
Why? I'm surprised that isn't more widespread. I guess I don't have a good history of how long it's been this way in Argentina.
I mean, remember, these stores have to pay taxes in pesos, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like, $4 million or whatever, you can convert it, but it's like kind of a bother.
Yeah, so people who save in dollars don't buy dollars from like a bank. Like there's people like on the street. There's like a specific part of town where all the like exchange houses are, and there's people like hanging out, and kind of like a shady drug dealer. Kind of like, have to like have someone tap you on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, you want to buy some dollars?"
Honestly, this sounds like a great time to visit Argentina. You could probably your dollar would go very far.
Yeah.
To say the
Yeah,
least.
you guys should become dollar dealers. Like,
Well, that's another thing. If you're a tourist and you go to like a regular bank to buy dollars, they give you like a super sweet deal, like better than the like gray market people because they want dollars. It's kind of a strange way to run a country, but you get a better deal if you're foreign. Like they literally ask you for your passport.
Yeah. So, are you Argentinian?
No, I'm Cuban. I don't want to dox myself too much, but yeah.
Okay.
He's a Spanish boy.
Yeah, I'm broadly Hispanic.
But doesn't have any direct connection to Argentina itself, like other than being Hispanic.
Well, I mean, I talk to people from there, I have like close friendships there and stuff like that. But as far as actually being there, no.
Okay.
Someone was like to me, "I'm good." Wait, I think it was you. You kind of want to move, like if Malay wins, right?
A little bit. I mean, it just seems adventurous. It just seems fun.
Yeah. I mean, respect. I just, I don't know. It's seems like a big deal.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm single. I'm not like married or having children, and I like make a decent amount of coin. So I mean, I could get away with like it going horribly, and just like running back to the States.
Right. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Move to Argentina.
maybe you should have the next con in
In
Argentina.
Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
They don't like Americans. I mean, it's complicated. Like you better learn Spanish at least.
No.
Hell no.
No. I don't think so.
Will they just view me as like a Ameriburger because I speak English, or will they be like, "Oh no, New Zealanders are fun"?
Oh, you know what? So there's actually some, strange kinship, at least in the heads of Argentina with like Australia
Right,
and New
'cause
Zealand.
you're both Antipodians, right?
Well, they share like the summer season
Exactly.
stuff. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of connections are like through.
Connected by the rhythm of the seasons and the sun.
Yeah.
Well, that would be based if Malay and like ACT and National here, like create a good, strong New Zealand Argentina alliance.
Totally on the same wavelength, bro.
No, like I don't like airplane connections. I meant, but yeah.
Okay, what about this speech, man? That was a while ago that this announcement.
Yeah.
Let's see if it happened.
I think it's happening now.
What do you mean happened already? Oh my god, you're running the stream.
Oh my god! Sorry, I tried to get some cheese and some meat.
I
And
got it.
Oh my god.
He's not speaking yet.
Not speaking
Oh
yet.
my god. You need to get Benjamin Ikuda in here, make him a mod, and then tell him to do all this shit that you're not doing.
I'll think about it.
I think you should like, not trying to like be a dad here or anything. But,
I
if you,
kind of like
bubble-
that. I will say, before you say anything, I kind of like the stylistic suck that these streams seem to have.
We're terrible. And it's our brand to be terrible, so that's why you have to accept it.
You know, sometimes that does work.
Come on. Like, imagine if you had like the soy face thumbnails and everything, and you like play the like YouTube
Oh,
game.
we do have emojis. But you gotta pay.
You should with a source. My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Cool. Okay, sure.
Like, imagine if you like double down your effort on this, and you like your mindset was like, I'm gonna be the Mr. Beast of like libertarian live streaming stuff.
So
you could like easily.
What would Mr. Beast be named if he was a libertarian?
Mr. Snake.
No, that sucks. Don't ever say that again.
Some chat GPT thing that
Mr. Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh no, it's Porcupine, right? Mr. Porcupine.
The golden porcupine.
The golden right.
Mr. Weed. No, Mr. Weed.
Mr. Weed is kind of funny. Literally.
Nations, it's a really good title though of a channel. I really like that.
No, yeah, it's pretty cool.
I agree.
But
so
I do think you need to have more like mods and shit running your community for you.
So the New Zealand media says that Malay's popularity is the result of TikTok. It's like the dangerous.
Hey, Bolsonaro wins again! Hey, Bolsonaro! Hey!
What's going on?
Bolsonaro wins again.
Hey.
Have you heard that narrative that the New Zealand media is talking about? That it's like the TikTok is misinformation. TikTok is what's caused his popularity.
Which
Did we lose?
Which is funny because in American parlance, basically,
Did we lose?
TikTok is related to China.
China.
Right. So like China's like funding like this or something.
Wait, did we lose, or are we still waiting for results?
There's 76% of the vote in, so.
We didn't win, but Adrian's saying we didn't lose due to some sort of Jewish machinations.
We will win. We will win.
Yeah.
It's a moral victory.
Well, there's going to be another round with the guy that Millet is most likely to beat, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the best outcome.
Not that much of a machination.
When is the next round going to be?
3 weeks.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you dragging me into this bullshit tonight.
Okay, so this is interesting. So the New Zealand media is saying if you actually walk around Buenos Aires or however you say it, and other places, there's basically no billboards or signs with Malay. His entire influence is just coming from social media and TikTok.
Which means he probably saves like tons of money then. It's like how Trump spent like $5 million.
Yeah.
And Hillary and won.
Yeah.
So you'll have to tune in again in 3 weeks, by which point Springtime of Nations may actually have some community or Discord or something.
We're working on it.
For people to participate in.
Yeah, because you do have an audience. You should like,
All right. Can't we do this off air? You're right. Really wanted like the plebs be hearing like, you should be nicer to. Listen, we're trying to work it out, okay?
I wish I was more of an orthodox libertarian. I would want to help you.
You don't want to help me?
My God.
I'm not gonna like run your thing for you, your Discord.
I'm helping. I would help because I'm an orthodox friend.
Yeah, there you go. Nick, aren't you my orthodox friend?
I am your orthodox friend, that's true.
What type of orthodox are we talking here?
I mean, it doesn't have to be for free is all I'm saying. We can talk
I don't
about
accept pictures of your butthole as payment anymore, Adrian.
Listen, we're not talking about you, we're talking about Nick.
I do accept pictures of your butthole as payment.
The market's kind of saturated. He's been paying me in the same picture for 6 weeks.
When it paid its weight in Argentinian pesos.
I'm going to mint these as an NFT. How does it feel to have your butthole on the blockchain, Adrian?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of blockchain as like a sexual joke, but I'm having trouble.
Anal beads, but cute.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Beads.
So you walk into the bedroom like, oh baby, we're gonna try some BDSM tonight. Anal beads? No, anal cubed.
No, I don't think so.
I'm giving you up.
Yes. I'm a comedy genius.
I'm a computer genius. Anyway.
Shut up, Jedi. Clankers in Paris is on.
I don't know what that was. I don't know who that is. Anyway, let's check back. Maybe we got some results. We didn't meet our objectives.
So what would have happened if he did win tonight? He would have been El Presidente?
Potentially if he did really well.
What, like 40% of the vote?
You need 45% and 20% more than your opponent. So really wasn't gonna happen. But he's in a very good position right now. But also how motherfuckers wanna find me. But first niggas gotta find
Sticking out the yacht for the Rizzler.
Did you just say the N-word on YouTube? I'm reporting this stream.
Do not. You will not see a dime in monetary.
Buttholes.
Man, it's just really crazy to think of like Zoomers, like they're flooding the TikTok with like
brain cancer.
Well, no, that's not the New Zealand narrative on the election. Is the New Zealand narrative is like the disinformed Zoomers have flooded TikTok with like misinformation,
right wing misinformation,
far right, right wing.
Yeah, he is very romantically successful, right?
Who are Bullrich supporters most likely to support in a runoff election?
It's Malay, obviously. Where are you reading that though?
That's in your comment section, in your chat.
Oh yeah, Malay, for sure. I think that maybe there are some people that are so scared that they might vote Massa. But I think Malay wins it with Bullrich vote basically.
Sticking out the yacht for the Rizzler.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
We were talking about. Oh yeah, what is the likelihood that Malay does well in the second round? And I was telling them that the Bullrich, the center-right voters are going to go for Malay. Malay.
Adrian, did I tell you that the California assault weapons ban was overturned for the second time in federal court? Did I mention that too?
In where?
California. Their AWB was overturned in federal court for the second time. They're on their way to district.
Well, but the ninth is just going to uphold it.
Yeah, the ninth is going to ninth.
It's going to ninth mode. Well, I guess they can keep appealing it. So,
yeah,
potentially.
Supreme Court. Yeah.
Supreme. By the way, I don't think the Supreme Court should strike it down.
Should what?
I don't think that the Supreme Court should strike it down.
Really? Why?
Because I think the 10th Amendment matters.
The 10th Amendment is what incorporated the... No, not the 10th. Sorry. The 19th is what incorporated the rest, wasn't it?
The 19th? That's the one that gave women the vote.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I can't remember which one, but what started the doctrine of incorporation?
Oh, you're probably referring to the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, 14. Yeah.
But the 14th Amendment wasn't legitimately...
okay, well, good luck with that one, buddy.
It was under coercion. It was so obviously...
Okay, good luck. Good luck with that. I'm telling you, good luck with it, okay? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying good luck.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to overturn the 14th Amendment to just not accept federal supremacy on every level based on it.
Well, it's not at every level. It's a specific incorporation of each of the amendments down at the state level, rather than like just a unilateral federalism.
Where is there a limit to the 14th Amendment's ability to extend the federal government's jurisdiction?
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either. So it literally is limitless federal power. The 14th Amendment changed the constitutional structure.
That doesn't mean that there can't be limits that come born about from the legal processes that surround it.
But it would only be like quote unquote prudence, right? That's the only check.
For now, until you have a substantive legal argument to keep it in check.
I can't think of. I mean, if you accept the 14th Amendment,
but why would we allow states to violate what we see as fundamentally inalienable rights just because they don't have the same provisions as the federal government that has supremacy over them?
We did it for 100 years.
Okay. Are you saying that's how we should do it?
Yes, because the alternative is one, civil war, which we did have, and second, you have a low-level civil war that will go on as long as people feel like they're not being represented on the legislative level. They have no ability at a local level to control their government.
They do.
Unless it conflicts with the federal government's policies.
They are also active participants of the federal government.
Alaska, having a law about Alaska, is never going to be able to outvote 49 states that don't care about Alaska.
You would be surprised at the current effectiveness of federal nullification laws and the constitutional limbo that they stand in.
Is effective on a couple things. Guns, so far, it seems... Well, guns has a lot of federal support. Guns has federal support.
In particular, you mentioned Alaska. Alaska has explicitly nullified all federal firearms laws and has gone so far to state that they will arrest state agents trying to enforce those laws on Alaskan territory.
But that's against the 14th Amendment. If that was actually... Like, the 14th Amendment would be what the court would cite if and when it strikes it down.
Or it might find that the restrictions placed upon guns by the federal government are unconstitutional and strike that down instead. And thus justifying Alaska's laws. Because they've left them intact for almost a decade now.
I mean, they're saying that, like, listen, fine. Okay, I'll grant you that it's not just drug laws. That there are firearms laws, but when it comes to, like, civil rights stuff, they're not going to budge. If they're not budging on civil rights stuff, that means in a very, very powerful part of the federal government and bureaucracy is never going to be challenged.
Well, I see the limits upon the 14th Amendment actually being relatively plain, and that is there's only 10 amendments to incorporate. All the others are already incorporated.
Well, but you know they lean on the 9th Amendment, and they lean on... It depends on the
you know exactly what they're leaning on. It's 14 words. No, not those 14 words.
Amen on that one.
No, not those 14 words. I'm talking about the Interstate Commerce Clause, not George Lincoln Rockwell's 14 words or whoever it was.
By the way,
Interstate Commerce Clause.
14th Amendment, 14 words.
You have somebody in the chat asking, how different is Bull
I don't care.
from Massa when it comes to
No, I
politics?
don't care. We're just filling time.
Massa has total continuation of the policies that led up to this. Bullrich is she wants to. Okay, so currently there's a center left president, the Peronist president. Last term there was a center right candidate, and he genuinely seemed to be trying his hardest to kind of like unfuck like Argentina shit. But I mean, first of all, he was very mealy mouse, and second of all, the legislature was totally against him, so he had no ability to really deal with, first of all, the inflation, the debt crisis, the deficit, all these things like negative economic growth. Macri, which was the predecessor, just was not able to do it. So Bullrich is the inheritor of like Macri's legacy, and I'm sure she's like, "Oh, we're gonna do it different." And I kind of believe that they'll try to do a different.
What do you think
strategy.
if Bullrich won? What would happen at that point? That was different.
I think it would basically just be a recital of the Macri administration.
No different.
So they were totally shut out. They couldn't get effective reforms through, and then the next cycle, she would be blamed for the continuing economic crisis, and then a Peronist would get voted back into power.
And Massa would do more of like.
Massa wouldn't look back at all. There would be no significant change in policy from what we have now. So we could.
That seems truly bizarre. That would be.
Yeah, Massa was also like part of the, had some like economics position in the government when the like devaluation happened. So like a lot of people see him as like, like a big part of Argentina inflation.
Yeah, let's see. What was his position in the current government, or maybe the previous government?
Yeah, so when he was for Kirchner, it says National Social Security Administrator is what it says.
And now he's Minister of Economy. He's Minister of Economy right now.
Yeah, he's the one who goofed it up. Is the impression people
Which
have.
is insane. That like you get 100% inflation, and you're like, listen, not only am I going to vote for the same party, I'm going to vote specifically for the Minister of Economy. Epic.
So Bullrich is like some kind of like milquetoast, like to draw an analogy, maybe like Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeb pilled. She's also ugly, which is unfortunate. For
Oh, you think so?
She's kind of got like. She's got like an English peasant's nose.
She's got a bad physical like manifestation in general.
Yeah,
like
she's
not
also
good.
old. Like, what's going on?
She's almost 70 though.
I mean, that's not. Yeah, okay, maybe she was attracted to somebody, but like, politicians should be, I think, easy on the eyes, and that's kind of like a rule that's mostly been followed, I would say. What do you think about that?
She looks. I'm looking at pictures of her when she was younger. She looks like Eric Weinstein.
Damn, bro. Yeah, she's. I don't think she was ever really a looker. Anyway, she's out of the count, thankfully.
She's out. Fuck that bitch.
Fuck that stupid bitch. All right, Mod. Any more messages from the chat? Any more
No.
donos?
There's not. I'm monitoring it.
We love the donos. If you don't know, you will definitely get a position in the chat.
Oh, great. There you go. You're literally selling it. Okay, yeah. I mean, at least do that. Yeah, sure. Minimum. Some guy named Night Potato came in, was being a bit antagonistic, but I think he calmed down.
Oh my god.
Night Potato?
Yeah.
Sounds like it could be messed up in the bloody head.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a bit of a nut, if you ask me.
Bit of a nutter. I'm not weird. I'm normal. Okay. I wish these fools would answer it.
Yeah, he was being a bit rude.
Bit uncouth.
Bit shaky.
A little bit cheeky.
Yeah, well, this
So is he giving some kind of speech yet, or is he not just doing it, or what's the story with that?
No, I doubt he's not doing it.
Yeah, he's not doing it yet. I mean, he hasn't started yet.
Bro, Massa said he will remove taxes for 99% of the population. Epic.
Jeez.
That's how you fix inflation.
Remove taxes or cut taxes?
Remove.
Okay, even more based.
Literally, just for the 1% of Argentina's economy. I bet you the cutoff is. It's like borderline if it's even 100% or $100,000 USD.
What do you mean the cutoff?
Well, the 1% versus 99%.
Oh, really? You think? Wow, what a shithole.
I mean, it's been very bad. It's not totally collapsed. It would be interesting to if there was a graph of this is how much the 1% of X country makes. It might exist.
Do you think there's any supposing that Milei wins, would this negatively impact international relations at all, just within the immediate neighbors of Argentina?
It will affect it, but I don't actually think it will be significant.
I mean, Mexico, Venezuela, and Cuba are gonna be all nippy about it, but what else is new?
Yeah, there's not going to be a considerable collapse in it's not like Brazil and Argentina are going to fortify their borders or anything like that.
No, I wouldn't precipitate war. Okay, so where do they actually have a border? Let me see this. Where do they actually have a border with besides Brazil and Chile?
They
got
right in
Bolivia, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Yeah, those don't matter though. But Bolivia might be pissed off.
Wait, they don't have a direct border with Brazil?
Besides Brazil, I said.
Oh, okay.
And Chile.
Right. I mean, they border quite a bit of people, right? Now, Bolivia obviously is communist. Paraguay is not. Chile is.
Paraguay.
Paraguay.
The great Solano Lopez.
But I don't know if he has policies which would I'm just so ignorant of this whole region. Why am I even on this stream? This whole I don't know what the economic structure of the Andean mountain region is, or of the Pampas. Does it incorporate Paraguay? Would some kind of massive economic change that he implements sort of like have overflow policies that regimes in other countries wouldn't be able to avoid, and they'd be pissed off. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we know that Bolivia's landlocked, right? And to a certain extent, it is kind of reliant on its neighbors, right, for trade. Argentina is the largest economy in the southern cone, right? By far. So it is kind of like the senior quote-unquote partner. So if it does make significant changes, for example, to its trading partners, yeah, I think that would be...
It's bigger than Brazil?
Southern cone, the three countries.
Oh, everything but Brazil.
Well, also, I mean, it is the second... Well, is it the second most populous? I know Colombia and Venezuela have quite a bit of people.
Equatorial rabbits fucking each other constantly.
Yeah, this is a family server, so maybe don't use that term.
Equatorial? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Argentina is definitely bigger than Uruguay and Chile, and even Bolivia and Paraguay, and Peru even, and Ecuador, obviously.
I love how my cat thinks that she's so sneaky about not coming in, but all of the motion lights around my house just keep track of her for me. And I can see her little eyes in the dark.
Eben. Yeah, Colombia is more populous than Argentina. But it's the second largest in South America. So yeah, I mean, it would have a significant impact on Latin America. Bottom text.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how like non-left stuff is like if he ends up being president, Milei and is it Honduras? What's the country with the Bitcoin guy?
El Salvador.
Yeah, there's gonna be like two Latin Americas, like very obviously non-left cool guys, like picking up steam, and like the like notable left people in Latin America. Maybe the Mexico guy is like kind of interesting, but like Cuba and Venezuela and like the Bolivia guy, they're like so old and not cool or interesting. So I mean, it seems like good stuff is happening, I guess.
Oh, what? I had a discussion with another guy about the Honduras economic zone or whatever, the charter city shit. What's going on with that? Yeah. Like, he was kind of on copium that Prospero wasn't dead and that the United States and Qatar are going to hold up the economic agreement or some shit.
Yeah, the problem is, like, there's, like, a communist government now, and they're, like, Prospero is bad. But it's being litigated, and a new president could easily take power within, like, the lifetime of, like, all this litigation. So... I mean, the problem, is the problem that has always been about Honduras, right? Like, even in the first years of Prospero, like, you have to be like, we're talking about regime uncertainty. I mean, this is a very big deal, right? In Central America. That's why you got to be careful.
Yeah, I was just having a broader argument with them about, like, what does, like, the potential for a libertarian vanguard state, not a libertarian vanguard state, but a vanguard state that protects libertarians, were to come about would be the United States. And he was like, no, it's actually Honduras. And then when we got into the discussion, it was like, well, who's holding up all these legal agreements between Honduras and Prospera and everybody? And it's like, oh, the United States and Qatar. I was like, oh, so it is the United States that's doing this. It's not. But.
Let's see if we got any news. Stop accumulating dollars. It's time to gather votes. The advice offered by Lula to Massa when the Argentine candidate visited the Brazilian president in late August. Damn.
Damn, got wrecked by his own homie.
Damn. It'd be your own ones. Expanding social programs and cutting taxes in the run-up to Sunday's vote. Even after promising the IMF, he would do the opposite. Epic. Literally just like breaking the Argentinian economy worse. Right before.
Double unemployment, triple student debt.
Right. Okay, you only have 2 double student debt. Yep.
Yep. What? Did any more percentage of the vote come in, or like, is this anything changed? We're still the same decision.
No. We're just still waiting on the speech, I suppose.
Use DuckDuckGo. Oh, use DuckDuckGo.
What?
Use DuckDuckGo.
I do use DuckDuckGo, or at least on the browser that I'm using for this.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, mate. Don't take checks. Just loads of money.
Oh, they're flying away in that.
Loads of money by that.
Anybody got any dosh? What a great game.
Oh,
Killing Floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Money. Loads of money. Anybody got any dosh?
Dosh is a good word.
Dosh is a good word. But wait, you guys know what the original, right?
Dosh?
Well, loads of money.
No. Oh, Nick who?
I don't know what you mean. No.
Okay.
I feel like it's an Austin Powers thing.
No. Loads of Money is like a 1990s, maybe early 2000s, but I'm pretty sure 1990s. Like a parody music video.
Harry Enfield? Yeah, it must be.
Bloody hell, it's Harry and Paul. Yeah. Harry Enfield.
This reminds me of Thoreau's recent song, "The Wiggle Wiggle Not Fold."
That's not even recent. That was like 4 years ago. But yes, I was literally thinking about.
Year.
No way. It was not 1 year ago.
That was just when TikTok features uploaded it.
Imagine using.
Oh,
TikTok.
you! Shut your mouth and look at my wad!
Imagine knowing you have it on TikTok despite not using it.
Well, these are TikTok channels that are uploading.
Shut your mouth.
Loads in my eye.
It's a journey into money.
Something's happening with the speech stream.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's starting yet, but the camera's moving.
Okay. Well, be ready. We're counting on you.
We're counting on him. We should be counting on you.
What do you mean? Why does everyone have to count on me? You're just bullying me.
It was 1 year ago, unless that's just when they released it on Spotify.
What is it again specifically?
Jiggle Jiggle by Louis Theroux and Duke.
There's no way Jiggle Jiggle's only 1 year old.
With Louis Theroux?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, I don't think the Spotify would be accurate.
Because YouTube has it. YouTube has it as 2022 as well.
Because it's not like a
June
AI
17th. June 17th, 2022, how Jiggle Jiggle becomes a sensation at age 52.
Okay, I'm reading the Wikipedia, okay?
I think you're just wrong.
You better be ready. Dude, it's from 2000! From the fucking third millennium!
Millet is out.
Malay's out.
He walked out?
Yeah, he's like behind
Hey, we
the
can
podium.
stream
now.
it and then you can like translate along. Do you have the link?
Yeah. 1 second.
Oh my god! If we can, are you a translator? This is fucking actual content. That's not.
I can't see the stream like from this. Like I can only see it on YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be like out of phase. He's saying good night.
Okay, hold on.
Good evening. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it up. At least
He's
we'll have the
saying, "Thank you for all the
audio.
gifts we have received."
Trying to get it up. That's what I said last night.
Oh! You dog.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they had told us that we were going to be in a second round with Krishnaism for the presidency. We would not have believed it. We are in a historical event. This is the product of the effort of thousands of people who all over the country worked to push with all their might the ideas of freedom. From having no party to be, I guess, the first party in the country. It's a historical achievement. You just keep saying it's a historical achievement. But we shouldn't lose sight of the size of the historical event. In 2 years, we came head to head to the first party in Argentina. Oh, this is the best election for liberalism or libertarianism in Argentina, something that fills up with pride. Out of nowhere, we have close to 40 senators. It's amazing what we have built in only 2 years.
I assume he means like deputies. Did he say
Right, 40
diputados?
deputies.
Okay.
Yeah, deputy, yeah.
What are they?
Millet president.
Oh, just Millet president.
Yeah. Okay, especially. Alright, he's thanking people.
Le quiero agradecer a mi queridísima Carolina Píparo.
My main hoe.
Yeah. The other guy is a candidate for to be mayor of Buenos Aires.
Okay.
Mi amigo en la ciudad. Gracias. Gracias por ese esfuerzo.
From what I know, it seems like they don't have that much of a chance.
Quiero aprovechar para saludar a Jorge Macri.
I mean, for the
Es una gran elección en la ciudad de Buenos
Yeah, he
Aires.
says that he sends his regard to Macri.
Por el kirchnerismo, igual que el que tenemos nosotros. Aprovecho también.
Oh, so there's this province that did get a new governor from his party. Or Entre Rios.
Oh, a governor? That's huge. That's the first time it's happened.
Yeah. Okay. Most important thing from the last 100 years?
Quiero que tomen conciencia.
An election that presents us with a choice to continue Krishnaism or to embrace the ideas of liberty, which is the ones that made Argentina great in the 19th century, that every country that clings to them progresses, and the ones that follow populist ideas sink in misery. People are chanting liberty now.
Oh my god, so based.
Viva la libertad, carajo!
2/3 of Argentinians voted for a change. They voted for an alternative to this government of thieves who wants to, better future to remain in power.
Es un día histórico.
That's why.
Y de
Okay.
ataques, y que estoy dispuesto a hacer tabula
I come to conclude that process of attacks. Okay, and I'm willing to start from a clean slate in order to end with Krishnaism. People are cheering. Beyond their differences,
de nuestras diferencias.
what we have to understand is that in front of us we have a criminal organization, and there's no atrocity that they won't commit against us. Krishnaism is the worst that has happened to Argentina. For 100 years, we've lived a brutal decadence. Now that Krishnaism deepened to become richer at our expense, mass is not the exception, it's the rule. They have a model designed so they can become richer at our expense. If all of us who want to change, we won't work together, they'll keep this country. If those of us who want to change don't work together, they'll keep the city of Buenos Aires. We can't permit let Krishnaism to keep destroying our lives. The thing before us is very clear. We either change or we sink. Those who closeted us in a quarantine, or those of us who ask for liberty, those who want property, those who want to use the state for their benefit, or those of us who want politics to be at the service of everyday Argentinians, those who free prisoners, or those who want, the allies of Cuba, Hamas, and all the bloody dictatorships of the world. Those of us who want to hold on to the free world. I like that he said Hamas.
Yeah.
Queremos que la política esté al servicio de los argentinos de bien, los que liberan presos o los que queremos a los delincuentes.
There was never a more obvious election in our history. Those of us who want to change, we must work together. If we work together, we can win. If we work together, we can recover our country. We can make it so our kids don't leave our country. We can end with corruption. We can end the privileges of bureaucrats. Let's not look back. Let's think of the future. Let's think of what we want for our children. This election is not about me. It's about you, your children, your fathers, your grandparents, your great-grandchildren, and doing Krishnaism, we're going to do everything possible to retain power. Argentinians of good must choose between liberty and Krishnaism. Let's go out on the streets. Let's go through every corner of the country. Let's cling to everyone who wants to change in our country.
Sorry.
You like tripped me up.
Come
on.
We don't come here to get rid of rights. We're here to remove privileges, he said.
Los argentinos de bien tenemos que elegir si queremos kirchnerismo o libertad. Salgamos a la calle, recorramos cada rincón del país.
So they can't keep stealing, to end inflation, end crime, to build back our institutions, so that we can live in liberty again. And let's not resign ourselves to mediocrity, and let's not be desolate or poverty. Let's make the libertarian revolution. Change is possible. The future is libertarian. We're gonna go fight for the ideas of liberty. Our people are cheering. Long live liberty now.
He seems like a very good speaker.
He's much better in Spanish.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him
Well,
give
that's the
interviews and
important
speeches.
one, right? Yeah.
No nos resignemos a la desolación.
What?
He's good at interviewing too.
It's important that he's good at speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Revolución
Yeah,
liberal.
it'd be like if Trump was like really good at,
Fluent in German.
but only could like speak very fluent. Like he wasn't good.
Si ese
at English.
futuro es liberal.
Yeah.
Viva la libertad, carajo!
Er kann sprechen Deutsch ein bisschen, mein Freund. Ich habe 1-2 Semester in einer deutschen Universität. Meine Lieblingsstadt ist München in Deutschland. Ich liebe Trinkbier und essen Schweinhaxen mit Kartoffeln.
What?
We get it.
খুব ভালো আমি বাংলা বলতে পারি আমার বাংলা ভাষা শিখেছি একলব্য বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়তে
Spooky
No-
says
no, I-
Carajo literally refers to like walking the plank. Like
Yeah, it's like some like yeah.
Oh, do they have a lot of pirate themed stuff in their party? I really hope so.
No, but a lot of like Latin American Spanish has like a lot of expressions from like ships. And things like that.
Sailor days.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to say something's cool in Argentinian slang, you say it's zarpado, and that means like it has sailed.
Yeah.
that's funny. Is there more like that, or is it just like Carajo and
There's carajo, there's zarpado. There must be other ones. Let me look this up.
I mean, I related it to like Quebec French, really integrating like Catholic things as oaths.
Yeah, that's more a thing in Spain. Like hostia, that's mean what's the little like
The host.
yeah.
The Eucharist.
Yeah, a more or less common one is me cago en los zapatitos del niño Jesús, and that's I shit on baby Jesus's little booties.
What's wrong with Spanish people?
Well, it was quite a night, quite an eventful
Quite a
evening.
bloody night. A lot of ruckus. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be. I'll just double check, but
Someone in the chat is saying liberty ... except for abortion.
Yeah, what about that?
what do you mean? He's pro-choice.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was super opposed to abortion. Is he still pro-choice?
Oh wait. Yeah, maybe you are right. I mean, I know he's in opposition in a lot of like ways and like against social conservatism.
I don't know. I remember he really hated abortion.
I know Argentina is just in general very anti-abortion, so I guess that makes sense. Okay, 40
abortion rights at
deputies
risk in Argentina.
out of like 250. And
I disavow Milei's abortion.
Milei has expressed staunch opposition to the procedure if elected as a president to hold a referendum to determine whether abortion will remain legal. That's from Al Jazeera.
Yeah, I support
Thank
him.
you.
He's the good thing.
I disavow that particular.
I disavow that particular opinion.
Yeah, you're both libtards, so who cares what you think?
I'm sorry, I'm an anarcho-absurdist now, Adrian.
An
My God.
anarcho-frontierist.
I'm just whatever Adrian calls me.
I think Adrian's last moniker he gave me was anarcho-liberal before this anarcho-interventionist tag came up.
Libterventionist.
I like anarcho-liberal. I like being anarcho-liberal. That's cool. Libterventionist? Sure, I'll take on that.
I'm really partial to anarcho-absurdism.
That just sounds like a gay Reddit thing that you made up to sound unique.
Nah, it has some actual like thought behind it, but it's mainly to do with like Albert Camus.
Yeah, okay.
And then like I made a flag for it. Like it's just the missing texture flag, yeah.
That's clever.
It like it's supposed to incorporate like the meme like anarcho-hoboism, anarcho-lemonade standism, like these like little, but ultimately it's supposed to be like kind of like a gradual progression towards a more free and anarchic world than like some kind of unilateral mandate of anarchism.
Who wants a mandate? How about a woman date?
Oh,
You guys heard about the mandate?
I tried to get those, but they kept calling the police.
Actually, this dog's asshole guy, kind of, I feel like I'm on a, yeah, on a different Discord call. We might have a conversation about
He's
that.
he's a Destiny stan. You would get along, I think.
Yeah. I'm not only a stan. Like I know this man personally. I help Steven like do events and stuff.
Oh God,
Steven.
See, I don't care that you know him personally.
No. I was just flexing on Adrian.
Yeah. I bet you think it would be cool to meet Destiny.
I'm gonna go see him next month. I think November 5th. I'm eating dinner with him.
Oh my God, so cool.
Does he give you money?
So cool.
He's paid me for my services, yes, but this is me paying for an event. He's doing DebateCon, I think, and Chud Logic and Not So Airy. You don't know these people, probably.
I know Chud Logic because one of my close friends is like his editor.
Oh, DK? You're friends with DK?
Do I have how much do I have to edit this? I have already have to edit one thing. Anyway,
DK is not like a secret person.
Yeah, he's not. But Adrian being friends with him might be. Who knows? I don't know.
yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
Anyway, I'll be eating dinner with Chud and Destiny and all them next month. It'll be kind of neat. I really want to talk to Chud.
Underrated channel.
Underrated channel. Anyway, yeah, I feel like probably not gonna learn anything more tonight.
Okay. End it.
Yeah. Well, end it. Thank you for everyone who participated. Obviously, the dono. Our first dono.
First dono ever. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. What a deal. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Great night. We will win, and they will lose. And with that, I will say, may 1,000 flowers bloom